we about to be live, bro. We about to be live. All right, one. Wait, who are we missing? Oh, Old Man's here. Koi is here. Dope is here. Chris is here. Nick is not gonna be here till probably like 9:30. He working today, I think. All right. All right. All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of PlanetXbox Podcast. We are on milestone episode 64. And we're back to, regular basis. All right, this is no live reaction. This is sort of like, it actually hasn't been a week. It's actually been a couple. Still hype. But welcome, everybody. We're going to start off with some introductions. We got Chris Righteous.
Yo, what's up, Planet Xbox? What's going on? Happy to be here. There's a lot to talk about. I'm sure there's a lot of exciting things that Xbox fans are excited for, and yeah, let's get into it, man. And there's been a lot of video games that I've been playing lately that I've been juggling, but Ratchet and Clank, FF7, and stuff like that, and I've just been loving everything like that. So Ratchet and Clank is really good, and so is the DLC for FF7. But yeah, other than that, man, let's get into it.
Man. Old Man Logan, my fellow werewolf. What's up?
Dude, I lost my shit. I had to tell my wife about that when you guys said
it's the Wolfman, baby.
On Sunday. Oh, dude, I was cracking up laughing. But no, what's up, Planet Xbox, episode number 64. I kind of want to give a shout out. This has been my 6 months being on this podcast, so I'm pretty pumped. I was like, dude, time just flies by when you're having fun. And I think right now is like the best time to be having fun because Xbox be looking mighty meaty, very, very mighty meaty coming up with, I say,
super thick.
The next year, dude. We have things to look forward to, and that's not even the big stuff. Like that's not even the Fable, the Hellblade, and just everything else that they got coming out. So I'm pumped. E3,
yeah,
might have not have been the best overall, but Xbox came out swinging, and I love their show. So yeah, let's just get to it, man. There's tons to talk about. I think it's nice that we got a couple days of cool down from everything and stuff like that. So yeah,
no, absolutely, bro. Shout out to Dopest J, man, my fellow high top brother, man. What's going on?
Oh, what's good, guys? Just been enjoying some game. I'm in a similar point like Chris is, like playing Ratchet, playing some Final Fantasy VII Remake. Recently got into Paladins, got like a quick 600 gamer score for that game, and then just been chilling. Big Brooklyn Nets fan. We had a great game yesterday. KD went off, and I've been prepping for Battlefield as well, so I've been doing some Battlefield streams as well. Played Battlefield 4 on PC with Bluster Red and some of his homies. Play some Battlefield 5 on Xbox. So if anybody wants to play Battlefield, just let me know. I can backpack anyone.
We had some fun playing Battlefield 5, so we gotta hit that up a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna call you Koi, bro.
Like just Koi, bro. Like just Koi. Like, what's good, Planet Xbox? How's the chat, the panel? Was good, everybody? After E3, like Old Man said, it was really good that we got like a couple of days to absorb everything. I've been playing a lot of the demos that came from the Summer Game Fest side. Did a lot of those. I played the Lake demo. I played the Tunic demo. That's my Zelda. So just a personal put out there. That's my Dark Souls type of like / Zelda thing. Like it has like the formula is there and it's down like packed where I'm just like, why isn't this game out? Because I would so much play it. Like it has like kind of like they're not bonfires, of course, but they kind of like play as that. And where you die, like your stuff does lay there until you go back to get it. And I was like, ooh. And then it was like, as I was progressing through the demo, like they were adding more combat mechanics in there for different enemies and everything. I was like, damn, it's kind of nice. Like the art style is very beautiful, vicious. Shit, I have been juggling games just like everybody else. I got a new monitor that has kind of like its base little HDR thing, so games are popping on this junk. I didn't think that I would miss HDR as much as I obviously do, but goddamn, like it just makes games look like fucking retarded. Like the auto HDR on here, FPS boost. I've been juggling games. I've been playing The Evil Within. I've been trying to get through Alien Isolation. The fucking aliens annoying as fuck. Watch Dogs Legion. I've been enjoying actually, where I was like, oh, like it's all right. I've been trying to get through Shadow Warrior 2. Shit, I'm at the end of Shadow Warrior 2 because Shadow Warrior 3 is coming, so I'm just ready to get to that. That looks really great. And I've been trying to get through Outriders a little bit as well, and playing Call of Duty when I'm high. So yeah, what's up?
All right. Just a couple super chats came in while we were gearing up. Gotti360 says, "What up, Kid Smooth?" or "What up, Smooth? We don't agree often, but Xbox Def won E3. Good to see them making moves. Looking forward to the show, man." Unknown Soldier for $4.99 says, "Y'all seen Babylon's Fall?" He's laughing. Nice Halo advertising, Sony. So I guess you guys are gonna fill me in on that because I haven't.
I have no fucking idea.
Also, just coming in, Phil Spencer tweeted out that thank you for a great week, our most viewed E3 ever. We haven't felt players and the team sharing so much energy and excitement since the 360 era. We're inspired by the community, belief in Xbox, and we will continue to innovate with players at the center of everything we do. Oh yeah, we got a lot to talk about E3, but let me give off what I've been doing. Man, I've obviously been playing Ratchet and Clank, and then I took a quick break for that to prepare for E3. Been playing Exo Generation. That game is going to be terrific. It's a turn-based RPG, but I don't know if any of you guys download the demo, but Exo Generation is available to download for some reason.
Oh, you're talking about Echo Generation?
Yeah, Echo Generation. My bad.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
For some reason, I'm surprised it didn't. Maybe I gotta check the store now, but I feel like when the demos first came out, it wasn't plastered over the store where we could just I feel like I had to search for each of the demos, so I downloaded Echo Generation, Tunic.
That's the one that looks like an 8-bit Stranger Things type of vibe, right?
Yeah, but that demo came out like a few months ago. Did they put up a new one?
The Echo Generation came out a few months ago. It said June 11th.
Not because I played Echo like a few months ago. Like I played that junk. With the little boy with the big head and his like RPG. That's what you talking about?
That you're describing like several games.
The little boy and the little sister, and you're fighting kind of like these like robot toy looking things or something.
I don't know if you fight. I fought like a couple raccoons and a dog so far in a neighborhood.
Let me see. Show me the thumbnail for the jump.
I'm on here right now.
Yeah.
Echo Generation.
Yeah, that's the jump. Yeah.
This has been out for a couple months.
Son, like I played it.
It showed June. It showed the June 11th date.
Yeah, like I played like a demo for it, and that was it. Like it was cool.
Yeah. So but yeah, that game's gonna be terrific. I played Tunic, and there's a couple other games. There's just other.
How you like Tunic?
Tunic's alright. It reminds me of I'm not the biggest fans of games like that, like Tunic, Below. Like Below is exactly like that as well.
Below's worse though.
I was like Exo Generation is probably more of
more your pace.
Yeah, I kind of got.
Yeah, he's right. It came out. Well, it was a time demo, so it wasn't out for that long. It came out in December.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever that game comes out, I'm ready for that. But other than that, I found myself playing Chivalry 2.
No, you playing that,
bro? I was like, man, I mulled over the decision of buying this game, and you guys know, major advocate for Game Pass, and I will be the first to tell you, man, I would like for this game to be in Game Pass. If it was in Game Pass, I'll download it, immediately, right? So when you see those games that come out that they're at like $39.99, it was like, all right, this means it could be alright or it could be bad. You know what I mean? So I'm just mulling over it. I know it's optimized for the Series X and S, and like I'm mulling over it, and I'm like, I don't know, man. So I buy it because you got some Microsoft reward points for it, and I also had credits from last month's thrashing that I did with achievements. So I downloaded it. And I the tutorial happens. I was like, I don't think I'm going to like this game. So we play it, and then me, Addict, Iron Lord's crew, we all get into it. And bro, we end up playing for like a couple hours, and I'm like, oh, I actually like that. The next day I booted up, and I played for another 3 or 4 hours. I was like, yo, I'm enjoying this game. It's I don't know. It's not a game for everyone, and this is the reason why I think it should be in Game Pass. Not because it's bad. It's just that the average person that play video games, you either are a fan of those type of games or you come across it by accident. So this game, like the game supports crossplay. Literally every time I'm in the game, it's like 4 Xbox guys and everybody else is on PC. Like literally everybody else is on PC based on like the logos and stuff. So but I played a ton of it. I'm doing decent, and I think when it's a multiplayer only experience. So and the only way I stick to multiplayer games is I have to be doing good. So maybe my liking for it is because I haven't sucked too bad, and I've been finding different ways to be effective. But I find the game very, very, very fun. I think it's like $40. I think they got a $50, if you get like some extra stuff with it. But it's like I said, if you're not used to those type of games, you're probably not going to buy it. I think this would have been a perfect candidate for Game Pass. Not because I think it's a bad game, it's because it's one of those games where people, hum over. You either find it at like GameStop used section, you'll pick up because it's a BOGO deal that's going on, or a Walmart BOGO deal. You just see something that looks interesting and it's just cheap enough. It's that type of game. It's good. It's quality. It's nothing wrong with it, but it's not the type of game that everybody just immediately flocks to, and that's why it should be in Game Pass, in my opinion. But if you haven't tried it out, you're willing to spend the $40 on it, go ahead and do it. I've been playing it every day. I want to put it down because I do want to finish my playthrough of Ratchet and Clank. But that's really what I've been juggling: the demos from Xbox E3, Chivalry 2, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which is a pretty amazing game as well. But today's show is, I don't know what else happened. There's been a couple, obviously, E3, we had Xbox, we had Square Enix, which happened shortly after, and then Nintendo. Now, we're going to go to Square Enix. We got all day to talk about Xbox, right? But we're going to go to Square Enix because I was, I had checked out, a video from
Yeah, that man was not happy
Chris.
Yeah, that was
who
that was a rant that I was
a bit fired up today. See, here's the thing, right? About Square Enix, right? I saw a clip. I didn't watch the show, but I saw a clip of Life is Strange. I saw the game that you guys were talking about earlier, the Final Fantasy, and Chris could tell us about that. And I saw the Guardians of the Galaxy, which in the clips that I saw, I thought, wow, this looks pretty good. So I just assumed from just that snapshot of the 3 games that were highlighted from what I saw, I thought they had a decent show. And then I saw Chris's video, and I'm like, ew. So Chris, enlighten us. What went wrong with Square Enix?
If y'all want to hear my full rant, y'all can check out my video, which I'm surprised that my video got over 1K views. But
it was fucking good.
Which is very surprising. That definitely is motivating me more to make more videos. But yeah, man, I'm a huge fan of Square Enix, especially, mainly like the Japanese side of Square Enix, right? Like all the RPGs that they make, the Final Fantasies, and stuff like that, right? So I'm a huge fan. They're my favorite third-party developer. I put them on the highest pedestal, right? So I was very excited for this conference because of all the things that they have lined up, right? That they could have shown, like Final Fantasy 16, blah blah blah. So, but they decided to pretty much say fuck off Final Fantasy fans and focus more on Marvel. right? This show was more like a Marvel show, whatever, which I was fine with, right? So they showed Guardians of the Galaxy, which gameplay it looked a little bit, it looked okay, but it was rough. Like the frame rates were all over the place. If y'all watched like the full demo or whatever, the frame rates were all over the place.
It was bad.
It was
Watch
definitely
the
it's
Switch
definitely
one?
on pot. Well, the Switch one is cloud. That's not.
I know,
that's
I
not
know.
it.
That was a worse.
Yeah,
way
no,
to show
but
that game.
but it definitely looks unpolished for a game that's actually releasing in October. That game definitely needs it needs to be put back in the oven, whatever. But that's not everything. So then after that, they started showing mobile game after fucking mobile game after fucking mobile game after mobile game and shit like that. You know, near mobile game, you know, and other things like that. They show Life is Strange, which I never cared for. Life is Strange, but there's a lot of people who love Life is Strange. But even the people who love Life is Strange were telling me that the shit they showed for Life is Strange 2 or whatever was like pretty much the same shit they've been showing, right? And then they showed Babylon's Fall, right? A game that I was super excited for because it's made by Platinum Games. I love Platinum Games. I love Nier Automata. I love Vanquish. You know, Bayonetta is cool as well. But from what they showed us, from this gameplay demo, it's nothing like the original game, aside from a few aesthetics, right? Like if you look at the
They
original,
definitely botched Babylon's Fall.
It's a downgrade, right? It's downgrading graphics, it's downgrading gameplay, and then they come to find out that this is a games as a service game. It's a multiplayer games as a service game. What they originally showed us, it seemed like a character action game, right? Something similar to a Devil May Cry or Bayonetta or whatever. Yeah, they had different characters in the silhouette, but we were just assuming that you can switch characters. But if you look at that gameplay and then you look at the new one, it is very downgraded. It doesn't look like what we saw. So I'm very disappointed at that, and that really pissed me off because I'm like, well, what? No wonder, because this game was revealed back in I don't even know, 2017, 2018.
Yes,
right?
I think 17 or 18.
And we've been asking, where's Babylon's Fall? Where's Babylon's Fall? Where's Babylon's Fall? And then they come to find out that, they switched the game up. It's now a games as a service and stuff like that, because I guess they're trying to capitalize off of Monster Hunter or some shit like that. But anyway, I was disappointed about that. Then they showed Final Fantasy Origins, which is called Stranger of Paradise, which was rumored a couple weeks ago that it was supposed to be a Final Fantasy game made by the Neo devs. It was going to be more Souls-like. And so I was extremely excited for it, right? Because I love Souls, I love fantasy, Final Fantasy, and meshed that in together. So I was extremely excited for it. But then when they showed us the game, the visual presentation did not look good. The character design, which is designed by Nomura, who's a legendary character designer at Square Enix. Mm-hmm. But these characters design, I'm gonna be straight up. They look whack. One looks like Eminem. One looks like Ninja, the streamer, and then the other one looks like Heimdall from fucking Thor Ragnarok or some shit like that. Like it just I played the demo. I'll give my impressions of the demo here in a little bit, right? But to me, the biggest disrespect from Square Enix that really pissed me off was that they finally announced that they're doing a remastered collection of Final Fantasy 1 through 6, right? Which all Final Fantasy fans, we've all been begging Square Enix, give us a collection. Give us a remaster. Hell, do it like what you're doing with Dragon Quest 3 and take it and make it into that Octopath 2D, right? That HD 2D shit, right? We've been begging for this, right? So what did Square Enix do? They say, yeah, we're gonna give you these Final Fantasy pixel remaster, whatever they call it,
the pixel
right?
editions, yeah.
But then they come to find out that this shit's only on mobile and PC, and it's not coming to consoles. And this shit pisses me the fuck off because we've been asking for this. There's no reason why they can't put them games on the consoles. No reason at all. On the Switch, on the X. I don't care where the fuck it goes, bro. Just put it on consoles and whatnot. But no, they just make it exclusive to mobile and just exclusive to PC, which that's not what we want. We want these games on I'm a console player. I primarily play on consoles. I don't have a PC no more because I lost it in the fire. I have a phone, but I don't play no games on my goddamn phones. I don't want to play some fucking games on my goddamn phone. I'd rather play it on the Switch. If anything, I don't care. Make it a Switch exclusive. I don't care. I just want them just on the console.
Yeah,
so,
you're not that type of gamer.
No update for Final Fantasy 16 after last year. They're telling us that there was gonna be a news blowout of FF16 this year, unless they're saving it. Unless Sony really wants that again at one of their events, right? That's probably what it is. Sony probably just wants to show Final Fantasy 16 all the time at their events, right? There was no update for Project Athia, but in my when I thought about it, I was like, well, they gave us kind of an update a couple months ago.
Forspoken.
Forspoken and whatnot. What else? There was no mention of Octopath Traveler coming to PlayStation, or anything like that. So they really pissed me the fuck off. As a huge Square Enix fan, I was very disappointed, and I give the conference overall 1 out of 10.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm surprised you
Shout
didn't
out
give it
Chris,
0.
baby.
And
You have to
here's
keep it
the
real.
thing.
You have to keep it real.
Yeah, exactly. You see of a company that I'm extremely passionate for, franchise that I'm extremely passionate for. If they do some bullshit, I will call them out. I'm not gonna cap for them. You know what I mean? So Square Enix was absolute trash. In my opinion, the worst show. I didn't watch. People said that Capcom was probably worse. I didn't watch the Capcom.
Capcom.
I didn't watch the Capcom one, but Square
was
Enix
kinda
by
bad,
far was the
so-
worst for me. Yeah.
Yeah, because you got so much passion invested into it. Capcom, they only said one thing that got me excited, and that was like DLC for 8 was coming, where I was like, all right, bet. Then everything else, like, should I kind of whatever about.
Shout out to the Melodic Punk for $2. He said Splitgate's beta is on Xbox. Highly recommend it. I just downloaded it live on
Okay, I'm gonna
stream
check it
for
out.
you guys. So just to let him know, I did see your super chat just in case I was gonna read that late. But
What's up, Salty?
Speaking of Salty,
I told you.
why did I see in my timeline a bunch of just people getting Xbox Series X's? What's up?
Man, I don't know.
What happened? I know
So I don't know
they
what's
got
going
GameStop
on.
and
GameStop,
came through. GameStop came through. Best Buy came through. But nobody want no Xbox. What's going on?
Xbox has no games apparently.
Yeah, then
The
nobody
narrative
want
was
Xbox.
nobody was buying them.
Hold on. I'm responding to somebody. The whole thing with Avengers, they only showed the Black Panther thing, but they didn't show no gameplay for Black Panther. It was just they announced the expansion. And another thing with Avengers, where the fuck is the Spider-Man update?
Right? You know
They've
what
been
it's gonna
telling
be
us-
like.
That ain't happening.
Yeah.
man.
Not happening.
Where like you know
No,
what
see,
I
I
mean?
think
And
it's happening.
I don't play.
Unless
play
that's
Avengers.
being
I
safe
don't
for
care about
Sony
the
as
game,
well.
but
Yeah, shit, it could be. See, that's the thing. Since Sony kind of has that locked up, I feel like how they're going to announce that and how they're going to bring it into the fold is going to be dependent on them for real. And they did say that their Spider-Man was going to be their own Spider-Man, but wouldn't they have to run that past Sony? Actually, like it's just like it's such a confusing relationship with Spider-Man and with him being in Marvel.
They would have
and
to run it past
Yeah.
Sony. But then another thing, I don't think they'll do it because, dude, they're gonna get outshined by Insomniac. Like, dude, Insomniac owns Spider-Man. Like, they make the best Spider-Man games. Period.
Yeah,
So
thus far,
if you attempt to do Spider-Man in Avengers, the first thing people are gonna be like is, "Yo, you guys suck because you can't get it on the level of
how's he's
Insomniac in terms of
transitioning stuff.
Yeah.
swinging,
the mobility.
combat, things of that matter." Like,
I'm sure they're
mechanics of
very
Spider-Man's
nervous right
very
now.
unique. And
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah.
they're
Since
not
we
gonna
know
do
that
it.
Insomniac is like the king of that, I really don't feel like they're gonna be able to match that. And I mean, and with the Black Panther thing, I was actually hyped where I was like, look, I may get it just to play the Black Panther thing, but it was just like I know that I would have to buy the original game where I'm just like, I just wanted the Black Panther part where I was like, yeah, let's this make like a Black Panther game.
But the original game's been on sale for like $20-$30.
Oh, I haven't checked it. So
yeah, no, it goes on sale for like $20-$30 very often. Avengers.
All right.
Yeah.
See, it's crazy that they advertise that game like hardcore to play as Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4 version.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you're looking at still it's been almost a year and there hasn't been any word of when that Spider-Man's coming out.
And I was tight when they
That-
made
that-
that
that's-
announcement.
That's
That
that's
shit's gonna be
shitty
trash.
to me because I know that
Yeah.
people like specifically bought the PS4 version just for that character.
Mhm.
And hell, they don't even play the game anymore now.
Yeah, that's true. Like their player install thing was in the single digits at one time. I was like, damn, that's a crazy drop off.
Yeah,
Like
it's
that.
doing bad right now.
Yeah, for like
I
a
just feel
games
like-
as service type of like a live service thing, that's bad.
Mhm.
Like where your player base is dropped down to like the single digits.
I
So
just don't think that no matter what characters they put in, their gameplay is just every character felt the same to me, no matter what I was playing. Like there was very subtle differences. But
yeah,
that's why
shit, I like
I'm
Black
I'm
Widow.
I feel like Black
a lot,
Panther's just
so-
gonna be you're gonna have your hit attack, you're gonna have the mobility, you know, what's mobility,
Yeah.
move around faster, then your heavy attack, and then they're gonna have a special ability, and that's gonna be it. And it's like that's all of them. All of them are like
Yeah,
that.
you gotta highlight their special abilities, but then
No,
you have like your
nobody
basic
feels
attacks and yeah.
Yeah, nobody feels super unique in that game to me.
Yeah.
And which
I
is
agree.
crazy because you're talking about the Avengers and Marvel and. But yeah.
Yeah. Are we giving like our impressions on the Square thing or was
Nah,
I
you could-
mean, I already
okay.
get. Yeah. I mean, I can talk about the demo for a little bit because it is coming to Xbox. It's
Yeah,
multi-plat- But the demo right now, you can only play it on PS5. That Strangers of Paradise.
Mhm.
First impressions. The visuals are horrible. I don't know what the frame rates are terrible. I don't know what resolution it's on running, but the shit looks below 1080p. It looks
Dude,
blurry
those
and
textures
fucking.
look horrible, dude. Like
It looks like-
PS2 level of shit.
No, yeah. Well, I was gonna say it looks like a PS3 game. To be honest with you.
No, but they said it was an
Um,
art style thing. Imran Khan was like it was or somebody from like kind of
No.
like,
I'm not
it
even
was-
talking about the art style. I'm just talking about
Okay.
like the visual presentation of it. The game is too dark at times. Too. I had to go up the brightness. The voice acting is corny, and terrible.
Son, he said
it-
chaos like 80 times through the
Yeah.
the trailer.
What was I gonna say? It definitely doesn't feel like a Final Fantasy game, even though it does have a lot of Final Fantasy elements in it, like the enemies, right? Like they got the bomb and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as far as gameplay, the gameplay is solid. Like Team Ninja, they make later. You know, there's different classes you can switch on the fly. There's parries. There's different equipments you pick up and that you loot that you can put on and changes the characters and stuff like that. So the gameplay itself alone, if they can polish, because the game ain't coming out to 2022, but if they can polish a lot of the visual aspects and stuff like that, I don't know what they're gonna do about the characters because the characters right now seem pretty lame as of right
Mhm.
now, and the voice acting. I don't know how much they can change about that. But the gameplay alone does give it a solid base foundation, especially if you play Neo. You're gonna love like the gameplay. I have no issues with the gameplay itself, but everything else is pretty lackluster. And it's pretty disappointing because I was getting super hyped when I was hearing rumors about this game. But we'll see how much they change and fix by the time it releases next year. It is a cross-gen game. It's
Mm.
coming out on everything, so yeah.
Gotcha. I was just giving this game a try in the tutorial. Looks alright, but it's kind of trippy.
What, the split gate jump?
Yeah. I haven't
Okay.
even heard of that game, but it might have appeared in one of those whatchamacallits, those
It looks
sizzle
like
reels.
Portal.
Because I thought it was on PC
why is it
first,
looks
and I
like
think that's where I
Portal.
first heard of it.
Yeah. Kenta Wilson says PlayStation has no games. LOL. See if I missed anything else. So Nintendo also had a show. Everybody was expecting to see the Nintendo Switch Pro, but we got some things. Metroid.
Yeah, you got Metroid.
No, Metroid, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go through the lineup right now of stuff they showed. So they started off with Smash Bros. Ultimate. They showed off Kazuya from Tekken. He's being
Yes.
added to the game. They
That's
showed
dope.
Life is
That's
Strange
dope.
Remastered
Yeah, that
Collection
is.
and Life is Strange True Colors. They also showed off Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy coming to Nintendo Switch. No one cares. Worms
Be a
Rumble,
cloud.
Just Dance 2022, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, Astra's Ascending. They showed off Metroid. What was the name of it? I forgot the actual
Dread.
title of it. It's Dread. Yeah, Metro Dread. Doom Eternal DLC 1 is coming to there, and they have Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. And then to top off, oh yeah, you also have Super Monkey Ball. They have the Super Mario Party All Stars. And then to top off the show, you had don't let me forget about what you call it.
Shin
Monster
Megami
Hunter
Tensei
Stories.
5.
Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Mhm.
And then you had Fatal Frame, which is coming to every platform. Mario plus
Tennis.
Rabbids, we already know about that. And then
For
you have
Multiverse coming to the
Rival
Xbox
Warriors
too.
DLC. Yeah. And then you had Breath of the Wild 2. A lot of the titles that were shown at Nintendo's E3 were either titles we already knew were coming and we seen gameplay for, or they were multiplats. So for me, that show really didn't do much for me besides 2 or 3 games, that being Breath of the Wild 2, Shin Megami Tensei 5, and I don't know, probably the Super Mario Party Superstars. That's pretty much it. Everything else was just like it was there. Like no one cares.
No, well, it pleased some people. So I would just say this. That's the thing shit about all of these individual conferences was that they nailed something for somebody. So, like, if you are a sole supporter of Nintendo, you got a bunch of shit that you're gonna be excited to play and get. So this is like, it may not have hit anything for me. Like, I just watched it just to support or whatever,
it was
just
3
to see
titles.
what could. But
3
it's
titles
just like,
for me. Here's my thing is that one of the criticisms that Microsoft got for their E3 conference was that a lot of the games are timed exclusives or the multiplats, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but
you can say
which
that,
one of
but
these three doesn't have third party support though?
Nintendo had the
Right.
most, like, as an individual company with exclusive games, right, coming to their platform. They had the most third party games that we already knew was coming,
Okay,
that was
alright.
shown off way in advance, that were during their conference, and no one said shit about it. Like, how does that work? And then to say that Nintendo won E3 or for what, 2 games? No, I'm
But
sorry. Like,
Sony
they did not.
but
They did
Sony
not do
could
that.
get the same thing though. Like they'll have third party support, and it's just like
Yeah.
you don't really get to say anything about the third party support. But all 3 of them have exclusives that are like far out, or they're going to release soon or whatever. But we all know that they all get third party support, so that shouldn't even be like a question or like a deterrent from any of them. Like they all get third party
So
support.
that if they want to mention that, mention Nintendo, because Nintendo did a lot of that during their conference, especially
Okay.
for way older games. Like, let me see, you have Tony Hawk, you have Life is Strange, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, like a lot of older titles that were already out. They're like, oh, this game is coming here, this game's coming here. Okay, that's cool. You can have a separate announcement outside of E3 for those games, but you headlined with those games. Okay, cool. And I'm a huge Breath of the Wild fan. I love the game. But that one game alone does not make you win a conference. No matter how impactful it is, no matter how much the game is going to sell, you can't win an entire. And it's not a thing about competition. Like some people will say, cool, whatever.
Yeah, no, it's not.
We have to judge these different events and say, hey, Nintendo overall as an event was pretty lackluster compared to some of their previous events in years past. And then you still have older games that they announced years ago. A great example is Metroid Prime 4, which we talked about before the podcast started. That game got announced in 2017. Where's that game out?
Yeah.
Like, how are you gonna show off Metroid Dread, which looks cool, but where's Prime 4? And then you announce Prime 5? Like, what? What are we doing?
No, they didn't announce Prime. It's Metroid 5.
Yeah,
Oh, Metroid 5, okay.
Metroid.
Okay, so it
Metroid-
isn't Prime.
Hold on. It's Metroid. Yeah, it's the original Metroid, right?
So it's Metroid 5.
2D sky scrollers. But this is Metroid Dread, which is a game that's been rumored for a long time, right? A lot of Metroid fans have been waiting for this. So the game that game definitely looks dope. I thought Mario Tennis, surprisingly looked. I mean, not Mario Tennis. Mario Golf, right? Mario Golf. I thought that game surprisingly looks really, really good. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, I thought that game looks super dope. They also showed another thing you forgot to mention. They also showed the remaster for Advance Wars 1 and 2, which
is going
Advance
to be $60, by the way.
Yeah, it's gonna be $60 or whatever. But Advance Wars is really dope. I remember playing that shit on the DS. A lot of people love Advance Wars. It's very, very extremely addicting strategy game and stuff like that. Then they showed, for me, like Shin Megami Tensei 5 looks absolutely phenomenal.
It looks great.
I was a huge fan of Persona 5, now I'm a fan of Atlas or whatever. I got the platinum for that game, so I'm definitely looking for. So I definitely know that this game's gonna be amazing, right? Because it's not like Persona where you got all the school shit or whatever, right? So that is definitely one of my highlights of E3. And then Breath of the Wild, for me personally, that one game does win the whole show. Like because I'm a huge Zelda fanboy. Like I love Zelda. Zelda is like my second favorite gaming franchise of all time, to the point that I would choose Zelda over any Sony over any Sony franchise. That's how much I love Zelda, even though I'm a PlayStation fan,
I've never
fanboy,
heard
whatever.
this. Okay.
But that's how that's how, especially what they showed with the trailer was like the new mechanics. You're gonna be skydiving in the sky, so it's very similar to the remaster that's coming out, Skyward Sword, which there's a lot of theories about, like Link going back and forth in time and stuff like that. Because you see two different Links in the trailer. You see one where he looks like his Breath of the Wild version, but then the other ones where he has like the long hair, right, and shit like that. So it's kind of funny how they're bringing out with Skyward Sword, and then they have Breath of the Wild, the sequel to Breath of the Wild. It's not called Breath of the Wild 2 because we don't know what the name is yet. They haven't revealed it yet.
Showed the title of it.
They see a whole bunch of skydiving and stuff like that, or like a whole bunch of stuff in the sky and shit like that. So so to me that looks amazing. Like, and which is funny because that game is running on the Switch on a weak ass hardware. If that game has that skydiving to the level like it showed it, and it has that free falling, and you can go up in the air and do all this shit, glide everywhere and stuff like that. And if Horizon Forbidden West still doesn't have flying mounts, that will put that shit to shame, man.
That's completely
insane.
Different though. Because if hold up,
it's not different. It's
hold
not
up.
different
Like
because
if you're just jumping down, like you said, if you're just skydiving and jumping down, and you're only getting just kind of like that vertical view, like with Horizon, if they do have sky mounts, you're gonna be getting a horizontal view where it's like you're gonna have like a lot of area to cover.
Glide, yeah. Breath of the Wild 1. Breath of the Wild 1 has surprisingly good view distance for a Switch game. And then you can glide off of high distances and land into new environments without you having to like doing any type of loading or popping and stuff like that. Like,
well,
it's
I mean,
insane.
there's a lot of detail in Horizon
sometimes
too,
it stutters
though.
if you go too fast. But the shit you can do in Breath of the Wild is like, bro, you don't even have to fly. You know why? Because you can cut down the tree, then you can freeze it with the stasis, and then you can hit it as many times as you want to build up the momentum. And then you get on the motherfucker when it on top, it flies you across. There's so many different things. And plus, Link also has a different arm this time. Like he has like a Thanos arm almost, like and stuff like that. So yeah, to me that one game steals the whole show. Like for me personally, because I'm such a huge Zelda fanboy.
Yeah, Zelda fan.
All right.
Yeah, so yeah.
All right.
I still think the event was lackluster compared to Xbox. Xbox had a more consistent event from start to finish compared to what Nintendo was showing. And Nintendo showed a lot of stuff that we already knew about that we didn't. I don't know. Like I said, some of those things could have got a completely different announcement.
Yeah, like no Metro Prime 4 is definitely a disappointment. I don't know what the hell is going on with that game. Nintendo's taking forever. I don't know. I heard it went through like a reboot or something like that, but still no excuses. You announced that in 2017. 5 years later, no updates at all. No updates on Bayonetta 3 at all.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Know what I mean?
Shit, I thought they would have showed that by now. So
Nintendo got a big L for me for no Bayonetta.
Yeah.
Well, is it Nintendo or Platinum? Because there's been some reports that Platinum Games is in big trouble right now, and as we can see,
Platinum Games is always in trouble though.
But as we can see, they're working on multiple projects. Look at the downgrade from Babylon Falls when it first revealed to the new version of Babylon Falls, and then now they still don't have no Bayonetta or anything like that. So I don't know what the fuck is going on over there.
Money and running.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Don Ataku for $10. Thanks for the generous super chat. Very, very generous super chat. Nintendo did not win over Xbox, but as a Nintendo fan, they've revived unused franchises like Metroid, Advance Wars, and WarioWare while having gameplay for SMTV, and Breath of the Wild 2 is my game of the show, 8.5 out of 10. All right, so if you gave Nintendo 8.5, I'm curious of what you gave the Xbox show. And we're going to obviously get into that. So the Xbox show was Sunday. It was the most anticipated. Everyone watched it. Phil Spencer just tweeted it was the most viewed show in Xbox history.
Damn.
Which says a lot. lot of positive reactions. We watched it together. We shared our, immediate reactions and immediate grades for it. I think at the show I said I gave it a 7.
Yeah, 7.
7.5. It was a 7.5 out of 10. Like I said, my biggest beef, it wasn't that nothing about the show to me was bad. Like nothing about the show was bad. I was happy with the show. My biggest beef was the fact that the biggest game of this year, Halo Infinite, they went out there, showed it, and didn't give us an actual like release date.
Yeah,
they gave us a release date for Starfield, which is over a year away. That was literally my biggest gripe. Other than that, I thought Xbox had a fantastic show, and it looks like a lot of people are coming to their senses when it comes to Xbox. I mean, they got the games, they got the franchises. There was more surety about the exclusives, the exclusivity with Bethesda games. We got clarification on next gen games, and even they came out later to talk about how they expect to leverage those next gen games on even older hardware without being forced to make last gen ports of those games. So we're gonna talk all about it. So who wants to hold up? Get
the super chats.
Super chat. Alex PSX says, shout out to Rise for helping Nintendo make a good game for once. Rand says, wow, I DM'd Smooth like 5 days ago and got no response. Damn. Now, all right. I didn't respond immediately because Rand didn't invite me to the first Xbox 2 Plus podcast. No, I got it. And no, all right. So Rand DM me. So the thing is, I'm actually, because I obviously want to do Xbox 2 with Rand and Jez and the show, and there's an opportunity for me to go on, but I realized, and this is why I didn't respond yet, because I was trying to find a workaround, but I realized I do work that day, and and this would be the time that Rand starts his podcast on time. Like it'll be the time that I'm invited on. He'll start on time, which is bad because I don't get out of work until 5:00. So if he starts at 4:00 and I don't know how long. So if you don't mind me going in at 5 p.m., I would go, but I didn't want to mess up the vibe of the show. Unless you guys start at like 4:45, maybe 4:53. Then I won't be too late, but I definitely want to go on. But I was trying to figure out if there's a way I can get out of work either early or but we have like an event that day, so I can probably still sneak out early. I just didn't know if I was gonna get out early enough to make the full podcast. So that's what I was going back and forth with. That's why I haven't responded yet. But there you go. That was that's what I meant to put in the DM. I wasn't ignoring it. I was trying to get confirmation though.
You said you could come when you're ready, bro.
Awesome. Addict says, I'm joining in a second. You sent me $2 to say you're joining in the second. Alex PSX says, Rise would have fixed this situation. Yes, a Rise sequel would have fixed it.
This man is riding this whole Rise joke.
Rise right now.
Oh man, so no, but I appreciate everybody coming through and lighting up the chat with all the different colors and everything. But yeah. So there you got it. I'll be on Randolph, obviously Xbox 2 Plus podcast, because it's technically not Xbox 2. There's gonna be more than 2 people on the podcast this Friday. So that was my only concern. It was not being able to make it on time, and it would have sort of sucked. But I'll be there. So like, who wants to give a crack at the Xbox? I could talk all day about Xbox. Matter of fact, I almost forgot we had a podcast today that was about ready to do a regular video. And I was like, wait, we got PlanetXbox. I can talk all my shit on the podcast. And if I run out of shit to talk, I'll do a video tomorrow. So, okay. Oatmeal Logan, haven't heard from you in a little bit.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm all about talking about that E3 showing from Xbox.
Did Xbox win? Yes or no?
Dude, absolutely. Like there's, I mean, mind you, this E3 was kind of low key probably actually high key not the best. I know, you know, probably COVID, big effect. Everything that got shown for sure. I mean, you know, it was big toll on the world, especially, you know, stuff in Japan and whatnot. But for Xbox to be able to come through there and put out that killer showing, I think, regardless of, you know, COVID and whatnot, that's been one of their best showings that I think I've actually gotten to witness in my life from them. It's awesome to see, you know, it's been a struggle for Xbox. I mean, all of us Xbox fans, whatnot, we're not sitting here, you know, denying that it hasn't been a struggle for Xbox, but we've stuck with the platform, we stuck with the system, we believed in it, and I'm telling you what, like it's awesome to see like us sticking with the platform and you know what Xbox is doing, like finally like starting to pay off, and we're starting to see, you know, the value in Game Pass and all these studio acquisitions and all these games. Like if you look at what they got for like the next year lined up for us as consumers, I mean, it's just it's almost at a month-to-month basis for like the next year of stuff coming out. And regardless of it being third, you know, regardless, yeah, there is some games that's third party that's coming to Game Pass. I mean, if you just look at the dollar amount, just alone right there, you got, you know, Back 4 Blood, which is a game that I'm excited as hell for because I love the Left 4 Dead series, so I'm amped for this. And you know, that's $60 right there. That's, you know, I'm not gonna have to spend out of my pocket, and if it comes off a Game Pass, I mean, you get that 10% discount, you know, just on the game alone. So you're, you know, you can save money right there.
Plague's Tale.
What's that?
A Plague's Tale. Plague's Tale's coming to Game Pass.
Sorry. There was just so many games announced, like I can't remember all of them. But dude, a Plague's Tale, I love the first Plague's Tale. So for that coming, and that was one of the first games. It's kind of crazy. Like a Plague's Tale was one of the first games I really got into off of playing on Game Pass, and it was like I was like, oh, holy shit, here's this. And I dug into it and absolutely loved it. For the sequel to come to it is just even better. And I like that, you know, Xbox has put out there that they're trying to find ways for, you know, Xbox One users and Xbox One X users to be able to get like next gen performance, whether it be through cloud-based, you know, gaming and stuff like that, because that shows how much that they care about their users and the consumers on their platform, and say, hey, you don't have to pay, you know, $500+ to get, you know, this experience. We're going to try to find other ways around to help you out. Like I think that's very, very consumer friendly, you know, very, you know, player focused. And it's just crazy. Like I feel like Xbox is all about the players now, and they're for the players. And yeah, dude, that E3 was just, I still think about it, and I'm just amped for like July is the second, you know, things are going to start popping off for them. Forza Horizon, I can't tell you, like, I don't think I've seen a better looking game than Forza Horizon 5. I'm super pumped to get into that game. And
It doesn't have ray tracing though, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, bro.
Literally, I've said this over and over and over. Like, I've never, like, ray tracing has never been a big thing to me. I'll play frame rate over ray tracing. I'd pick frame rate over ray tracing any single day. It doesn't.
Yeah, but according to the guys on Twitter, man, it doesn't matter because it doesn't have ray tracing. So we don't care.
I played Spider-Man Miles Morales before the ray tracing 60 FPS patch came out, and I did just fine with that. So it's like I don't
blame it on the guys who kept hyping up ray tracing in native 4K and saying that if it didn't have either of the two, then it's not even worth it. Yeah, there was a lot of people saying that. So it's kind of
I was not one of them. I'm just like, give me the good.
No, I know you're not one of them. You keeping it real, yeah. So,
but my only like Smooth said, my only disappointment was that we did not have a definite release date for Halo. Like that was my biggest take back. I was like, why you know, we're 6 months left of the year. How do we not have a release date on that? So I was a little bummed out about that, but the multiplayer looks absolutely amazing.
Yes.
I feel like Halo multiplayer is going to be like, I wasn't a big fan of 5. 5 was probably one of my least favorites.
What? Wait, the multiplayer?
Yeah, I did not like it.
Crazy.
I didn't.
Okay.
I did not like it. I'm on the opposite side. Like I loved 4's multiplayer, and apparently everybody hates 4's. But Infinite though looks like a good mix between old school and new, you know, updated kind of gameplay mechanics for Halo. So I'm pumped for Infinite. I hope they put out a multiplayer beta soon, because I'm gonna sink some hours into that game.
Yeah, like I said, the stuff that was shown, I was impressed by. Obviously, I feel like the media, Washington Post and Jason Schreier tried to spoil the Starfield thing at the junk, but it would. I felt like had that not happened, it would have been a welcome surprise to have them open up with Starfield because nobody was predicting that. I didn't predict that. I said open with Halo, close with Starfield.
Well, technically, Rand predicted it was going to open up, so.
Well, I missed that prediction.
He got the opening wrong, and he got the opening right, and he got the closing wrong.
Okay, I thought it was impressive, and even though they didn't do a demonstration of Starfield, I said in previous videos when I was trying to predict what's going to happen, I was like, well, we will know how soon Starfield is releasing depending on what we see from it. If we see a demo or any actual real gameplay, then it's coming at early 2022. It's going to be coming between February and March. If we see a in-game or in-engine cinematic trailer, then it's going to be later in the year. But it's in-engine. Pete Hines spoke more about it in an interview with GameSpot, I believe, today. But the game looked good. It's going to be very pleasing to sci-fi fans, and you can see that just on the box art. It's very paying homage to that classic sci-fi style. So even though we didn't see any actual gameplay, you kind of get an idea of what they're doing. It's the best a Bethesda game has looked, and when I say Bethesda, I'm talking about their RPG type games, the Fallouts and their Elder Scrolls in terms of visuals. And I believe they'll be able to achieve what we saw with Starfield, and then the fact that you had games like Halo Infinite. Even though I wanted to see more campaign, the multiplayer was so badass that the lack of a new campaign demo did not bother me as much. Remember when it came down to the Halo, the issue with Halo that I had was that it came down to, why are you still saying holiday? Give me a day. Yeah. But the multiplayer looked slit, and then they followed it up 24 hours later with a more in-depth look. I can't wait to just dive into that game. It looks beautiful. The multiplayer team, they're on one. They got it figured out. Halo Infinite.
Oh, Halo Infinite. Okay.
The multiplayer team, they got their job is done. And that's clear. It's going to be free to play. It's probably going to be the biggest Halo event ever. It has the potential to be, because there's no barrier to access the game between PC, between Xbox, cloud, free to play.
That's definitely a smart move for them to do, because that's going to make the longevity of that game and the community right off the bat huge. Now, my only thing is, since it's going to be free to play, they better have them servers ready to go, because
believe it or not, there's only one Halo that had server issues, and that was Master Chief's Collection. But Halo 5 didn't have those issues.
I'm just saying, because you're going to be at a way master scale, than what you were before, because you're going to have people that have never played a Halo game or never really gotten into Halo game, just downloading it just straight from the fact that it's free.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but you're also going to be, going through multiple platforms. So you're going to have PC people right at the same time, because this is the first time that Halo has launched simultaneously on PC and console. So you're going to have, a whole plethora of new people right on launch day that's going to be sitting there downloading it. So I hope they're smart and they do a lot of beta stress tests and stuff like that to get their servers situated ready to go.
And I'm gonna go out and say this: I feel like 3 or maybe 4 of the best games I've seen, were at Xbox's E3. But in terms of best looking games, Stalker 2 looks amazing. It may not even be my type of shooter, but that thing looked amazing.
You need to stay as far away from Stalker as possible.
Who are you talking to?
He's talking to me. But like I said, it may not.
That's all hardcore survival.
Yeah, that's it. It may not be my type of shooter, but that's why Game Pass exists. I could download it, try it, and if I don't like it, I can.
You gonna break a controller if you play that game?
I don't think I'll break a controller. I'll just uninstall the game. I only break controllers when I'm forced to spend $70 on it and don't like it.
My other thing about the Xbox showcases, I don't think there wasn't a single game that they didn't show that I wasn't interested in some form or the other.
I definitely wasn't interested in Slime Rancher too, but
Yeah, Slime
Dude,
Rancher and Age of Empires. I was not
Age of
interested in.
Empires.
Well, Age of Empires, like I would be into if I had a PC because I've always wanted to try those.
Well,
games
we
out.
could play it on
True.
Xbox. We could still play it on Xbox via cloud because it's coming to PC and cloud. So we'll be able to xCloud that thing.
I'll have to try it out then.
So I mean,
but dude, I'm up for Slime Rancher. I love the first one. That was so much fun.
Hold up, y'all haven't even mentioned one of the best games that was shown at that conference, in my opinion, which is actually an indie game that indie game replaced.
Yeah,
Replace?
That shit looked amazing.
Dude,
Replace my
Replace
God.
is definitely one of my top ones. Yes.
Yeah,
that's definitely my top 4 like games of the entire E3.
The thing is, I enjoyed what I saw with Replace. It looks great. I like that art style where they put a little bit of realism with that sort of pixelated look and then that camera angle. I don't know how to describe that, but when I see those games, right, I think of the last game that did that never released. I'm like, all right, how long is this game going?
The Last Night, right?
Yeah,
Where the hell is that game?
Yes. So if it never comes out, it's kind of cool that we get something that's kind of similar.
Yeah.
To be honest. So.
Dude, Alex a fool, man.
But
This dude's
also,
cool.
obviously, Flight Sim is looking good. They showed that off on the series.
Yeah, they showed that one. Because the only games that they show on the Series X was that one and Far Cry 6. At least the ones that they went out their way to say that, hey, these games are being showcased on the Xbox, because all the other games were like on PC and shit, like Stalker and Forza and whatnot.
Did they say Forza was on PC?
But they didn't say it was on the Series X, so I would assume.
It doesn't matter. It
So-
was on Xbox.
So hold up. But
Yeah,
why,
you shouldn't.
but why would they go out their way to say Flight Sim
Because people
and
didn't
Far
think the
Cry
game.
6
All right, so
are running on the Series X, but they won't go out their way and say Forza Horizon 5?
I have an answer for that. Because Flight Sim is notoriously and historically heavy on PCs. So people didn't think it was possible on consoles. So they went out of their way to say, hey, this is running on Xbox because of all the type of PCs people got that can't run the game at its full potential.
Yeah.
So that it was to get that, like, hey, because people are like, well, how are they gonna put this on console? Now, once it gets on Xbox, the Series X, the next question they're gonna ask is, how are they gonna get this on Xbox One?
Another thing about Forza during the
let's-
conference, they talked about the game being developed around Xbox consoles and how they were able to get that game to look as visually appealing for Xbox. That's all they were talking about. They never mentioned PC.
Let's be real. Like, all these things, it doesn't matter what publisher, it doesn't matter what platform holder. All these are being ran off dev kits. Like, it's not like they're being ran off the native console.
Yeah, which is a PC. All a dev kit is a PC. And this Series X, this little cute Series X right here, is a PC. It's just a pretty looking PC. Better looking PC than most PCs. All right, but the shout out to Bay Area. He says Forza Horizon 5 looked amazing and one most anticipated game from E3. Who would have thought a cross-gen, no ray tracing Xbox game would shine like that? Yes, Forza Horizon 5 easily for me stole the show. It was the best.
It does look amazing.
It was the closest thing I seen to that Unreal Engine 5 thing. That luminous shit that they talk. It like. When I saw what they were doing with Horizon 5, I was thinking about Hellblade when they panned across the ground and they showed the detail on the rocks and shit like that. And I was thinking of that Unreal Engine 5 demo that they showed last year. And I'm like, oh, this is real.
If anything, because I'm not really a racing fan, so I was on my phone the whole time. But
and you missed
if anything, when it comes to that
This shit gets
demo,
capped, bro.
if anything, what comes with that demo just made me realize like how good Fable is gonna look.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I was just about the same thing. I was like, the main thing that has me excited because of the Forza because Playgrounds, because right now they're probably like the best studios as right now for the Xbox has for right now. But
I think Obsidian
is the fact that they're gonna build Fable off of that engine, and that's the game I cannot wait to see. I cannot wait to see.
Oh yeah, remember people were laughing that Fable was being made off of Forza Tech. but they like because they don't use Unreal. They use their own in-house engine. But that game is
amazing. They got an amazing engine.
And we're gonna learn more about it. All right, so the reports about Forza that kind of have everybody. I know people like Porter Rock has been parading around this idea. So the support page came out and to confirm that the game was running at targeting I think 4K 30 on Series X and 1080p 30 on Series S, which was just very confusing because I'm like, damn, well, if that's that case, how's it gonna run on last gen, especially in the Xbox One X? So, and they did mention that there will be performance modes, but people, took that and they took the whole ray tracing nuke. So we did see ray tracing in that demo, but it was when they were detailing the cars and whatnot.
The Vista mode, right?
The Vista mode and whatnot. So people took that and kind of used that like you guys aren't even getting ray tracing in gameplay. 30 frames per second and all this stuff. So I ain't gonna lie, before they came out with the the update and clarification, I said I will take the slander for Forza and Flight Sim being 30 frames per second on Xbox. Which is fine. Okay, I get it. I talk a whole lot of shit when it comes to performance. I do. So I ain't gonna say it. But I'm gonna take the slander because there's not a single game, in my humble, honest opinion, that looks better than either of the games that are quote unquote running at 30 frames per second on a Series X, and that's Forza Horizon 5 and Flight Sim. I don't know of a single game that looks better.
Well, I mean, a game running at 30 frames, I don't think it's gonna change the graphics. Like, for the most part, that just changes how the game feels when you're playing it.
I don't know of any are people getting 60 frames per second on Flight Sim on PC at those
not
at 4K?
barely.
Not at high resolutions, no. Probably really low resolutions. Nah, it's a very Flight Sim. That's understandable. Like, that's extremely demanding game and stuff like that. Like, so that's understandable and whatever. But
for that
the reason why everybody's getting on it because, like you said, Smooth, is like you and a lot of your peers, especially on Twitter. Like, every time a PlayStation game was shown at 4K 30, it got made fun of. It got PlayStation, it can't run games. And then when they find out there's a 60 FPS mode, it's like, it's why does it need a 60 FPS mode? It's weak, blah, blah, blah. It's not native or anything like that. It's like when the shit comes right back around, you know what I mean? Then you get checked and it's like, yo, humble yourself. This is why
that shit humble.
But it's like the point is that it makes sense for Flight Simulator or like for the case of Forza, like it makes sense because they said for the 4K 30 they were doing ray tracing with the cars or something like that, right? So that would obviously
there's no ray
didn't they say that there was ray tracing for the just on the cars? I think
only in Forza Vista mode.
So
only in like the photo mode. As of right now, apparently there's no ray tracing when you're actually playing the game, and not even in the cars.
Okay, but they still get the performance mode though, and that's what I was thinking. So
they still get the performance.
That it was like 1080 30 or it was 4K 30. So I was like, well, I know that there's a performance mode, so these are probably just like the modes that are like highlighting graphical fidelity shit and all of that. So like I knew there was a 60 frame.
And then another thing,
go ahead.
No, the game looks like I agree with Smooth. The game looks phenomenal graphically from what we saw at the showcase. The game looks it looks like a next gen game graphics wise, right? But it's like, and then the whole thing with like the 4K 60 because the director came out and said, no, you're gonna do 4K 60 whatever, but that could be dynamic and stuff like that. And I remember people getting on PlayStation whenever they have a 60 FPS and it's not native and it's dynamic or it's 1800p or 1440p, people were talking shit. So then now with this, you know what I mean? So it's gonna that's what I'm saying. This is like the whole resolution and shit like that. It's like, yo, get that shit out your brain. Native resolutions is not as important as what it used to be with all of the upscaling techniques that we have now. So get that shit out there. It doesn't matter if against 1440p and 60. The upscaling techniques and the downsampling and all that stuff can make that game still look absolutely amazing to the point where you can't even tell the difference that it's not native 4K. So
I'm not even worried about that. So that's
what did the Flight Sim page say about the Series X getting higher frame rates? What was do you recall seeing a quote? If you're playing on
you need a VRR TV to get it above 30 FPS, but we don't know what that means.
That means the game is running FPS, it has an unlocked frame rate probably. That's why, and it probably going to be hovering around like 40 or so frame rates. I feel like the game is probably running with an unlocked frame rate. Which is, I'm curious to see what they do. Richard Ledbetter of Digital Foundry said he has a CPU at 5 5 point something gigahertz, and he could he was still dropping frames on that game.
The game
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Is the most intensive game you can run on a PC right now. Like it's insane because you're rendering so much. Like I'm not even gonna do, but we talked about this last year when they announced the game and the performance for the game. Like people who were running 2080 Ti's back then at 4K were struggling to run the game. Like it was bad, and now you have 3080s. Yeah, the performance is a little bit better, but you're not getting a stable frame rate. You're not locking frame rates on that game, period.
And,
So these people that pretend that they didn't see benchmarks of the game now want to be like, oh, the game runs at 4K 30 on Series X. Like, no duh. Like, who the fuck didn't know that this game was gonna run like that? So we have to stop. We have to stop like being very disingenuous about stuff like that. If people want to get on Horizon, cool. Like that's fine. Like, you gotta humble some of these guys that were talking their shit about Series X.
A lot of receipts were pulled up, man. It was funny.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie.
For sure. And that's why I don't like, go out my way to say a lot of shit like that. Honestly, like I like to give more, predictive stuff. You know how the console, you know how these consoles get like some different goals in terms of how they want to achieve certain performance with their games. So not everything's gonna be native.
Everything doesn't have to be.
People need to be honest about that stuff and stop like capping about the flight sim situation on Series X. Like, you guys gotta like chill out with that. Other than that, like,
I mean, it's still
Microsoft
impressive
had the
that
best
it's being
E3
played
They
on
had
the
the best
Series
E3
X and
conference
X.
out of every other conference during E3. It was the most consistent. It was the most well put together event out of every other event in terms of pacing, announcements. There were some new games that got announced through there. Obviously, we got the Starfield trailer. We have the Outer Worlds Part 2 that got announced. There's a new IP. Contraband.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Contraband from what was it? Avalanche. Avalanche announced Contraband. That looks interesting. We have to see more
Which
about
one was that one again?
That's the
Contraband
that's the
is the
heist game,
two-player open
They
world
didn't show
game.
gameplay for that one, did they? Or
Yeah, no.
No.
It was just a trailer,
Okay.
So we have to see more about that. See what they're gonna
open
do.
world smuggling game.
I think it's more than
Plague's Tale Requiem. I mean,
Yeah,
like
Contraband.
they had the most compelling announcements. Let's be honest, they did.
Now I will say, because y'all know me, like I've said this plenty of times before. When it comes to new IPs with no gameplay, like I can't get excited. It's hard for me. I've always remained consistent on that on any platform. But I will say that the Redfall game, even though I can't get too excited about it because there was no gameplay, that was a CGI trailer. The concept of it does sound cool. An open world co-op game with vampires, that's something that really hasn't been done like that before. So that's definitely something that's definitely I'm interested to see how that one turns out.
Yeah, one more thing I want to say: some of these guys need to stop misrepresenting some of these games and taking false screenshots and trying to say that there's no improvement. We really need to stop that because we understand, like, people like to troll and stuff like that. That's cool. I kind of trolled on Returnal when I seen the reflection. It was like a real thing in the game. But like other than that, like we need to stop like acting like Forza 5 does not look impressive or Forza Horizon 5 doesn't look impressive. That was an impressive showcase of a game.
As you're talking to a wall, these people ain't never gonna stop that stuff. But I think that Contraband, I think it's gonna come out like the end of next year, the beginning of 2023. So I think that's the reason you see no gameplay on that. What's that game that came out at the end of the show with?
Redfall. Yeah, that's probably very early in development. Yeah.
No, that game's coming out next year.
Yeah, next summer.
Yeah, 2022.
It says coming out summer 2022.
Oh, they did say that. Okay.
The reason you're not seeing a lot of gameplay, and that's not just this company, like Microsoft, it's everyone. It takes a lot to make these vertical splices, and they don't want to take the time away from the developers, so they'd rather, meet them halfway and make some kind of CGI scene. Because, up until recent, Insomniac literally just went back in their building, like, this week. So yeah, it's going to take a while before these developers are back at 100%, and not everyone's back at their offices yet either.
Yeah.
Addict, I remember speaking to you in party, and you kind of had a disagreement of which game should have closed the show.
I felt like the Outer Worlds 2 should have closed the show. because every reaction I watched, that was the one that got the most hype. That was the one that got the most wow moment. Like people, I felt like people were more like, "What is this?" on that last one. Like it's not that it was like a bad showing. It's just I felt like the wow moment was more on the Outer Worlds too because people didn't expect it.
Yeah.
And like sure, people didn't expect that either, but. Like I feel like a lot of Arcane fans are a little disappointed because it's not what they typically make, and I felt like the reason people didn't expect the Outer Worlds 2 is because we literally just got the last DLC a couple months ago. So,
but you know
I felt
what?
like
I
that.
was. No, I was gonna say I was hearing rumors about that there was gonna be an Outer Worlds 2 or they were gonna show it off. So to me, when it came out, I was like. Yeah, it's great. Outer Worlds 2 is coming out, but to me, it wasn't that big of a surprise because wasn't there rumors about Outer Worlds 2 showing up.
Yeah, but
prior?
the thing is like this
Well, that's for
community,
me.
this community in particular has their ear close to Xbox news, so that there was those rumors lying around. Like I was like, there was people that I thought should have known didn't know. So like when you're watching these reactions, like you could tell it's genuine. Like there's people that didn't know till the Spacious Choice logo showed up at the end.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. Like, cause you could tell the moment you saw the main antagonist, like, cause he has the same figure as the original main.
Not the same outfit
protagonist.
entirely from the original. He has on the same outfit, and
Yeah,
even
so
before
I
that, when
knew
you saw
the
the
moment
boots
I saw
running,
that.
like you could tell by the boots and stuff that it was.
I wasn't really looking at the boots at that time, but what's crazy is I was so busy analyzing the trailer, trying to figure out what game it was. I wasn't even hearing the crazy ass fucking dialogue that's being talked over it.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, in my opinion, I think to me, Forza 5 probably should have been the one that closed because that was the one that we seen gameplay that looked like the most impressive.
It technically did close. The what they
it took up the most time.
Redfall
but didn't Redfall close?
It closed, but it closed the same way like Fable closed last year, right? It was whatever the last game I was showing was the last.
Closing the show though.
Yeah, but
like,
the thing
that
is, the
that's
real
closing the show.
It's closing on technicality. That was the last thing that they showed, but the show was already over. Phil Spencer already came out and gave his speech, and then after that,
I think it should have been flipped.
We have one more for you. Like the show wasn't over.
You kind of got the feeling the show was over. It was the longest demo. They got the gameplay, so it pretty much this was like, all right, this is the finale. We know they're gonna do one more thing, but technically, I mean, I don't count those.
We're gonna try to say the one more thing's not part of the show, kid.
Huh? I'm not saying.
We're trying to say the one more thing's not part of the show. That's what you're saying.
Phil Spencer already summarized the show before they said he already pretty much we showed you this. This is coming. 27 to 30 games. Da, 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 da. Here,
and the one more thing.
The one more thing is just all right. We know it's not something that's coming out next week. Like we know it's like.
I think it should have been flipped. I think Redfall should have been shown, and then he'll be like, "Hey, look at this," and then close it out with that impressive showcase of Forza Horizon 5.
I don't think
that. I don't think Forza Horizon 5 would have got the same reaction.
The thing is you want to end the show with something new or something unexpected. Like you don't want to end it with Forza 5 because
with the most visual impressive.
But it changing the time frame that you see that's not going to do much. You still see it.
Well, I know. I'm just giving my opinion. I just think that they should
think about like you're all I'm saying is you're wanting them to end with all that gameplay. Like people are going to turn it off by then. If we got one more thing to show you, then it's an 8-minute gameplay of Forza Horizon 5. Like that would have ended really bad. Like really bad.
Like the thing is with the conference, with how it went down, you had Todd Howard come out first, brand new IP, and then you had Phil Spencer hit you with the last brand new IP. It was kind of like a sandwich. It was kind of like to the hit like that. So you got Starfield in the beginning with Todd Howard introducing that's his baby, and then you have Phil Spencer introducing Redfall, and this is our brand new Xbox exclusive new IP. Coming from Arcane, y'all know what it is, and the way that they also delivered it was that it was a 4-player. You could play it solo, or you could play it with 3 other people. Just like in the vein of kind of like a Borderlands, So it's like, in my mind, I'm hoping that it is kind of like that. So kind of like a Borderlands-esque type of game. So because you had kind of like the black girl who was like the siren to me, and I always play sirens in Borderlands, so it was interesting.
You think it's a looter?
And I'm glad, huh?
You think it's a looter?
I don't know about the looter part, but just how they express it, of just like playing, you could go through it one player and just like play it by yourself, and I guess like you have the 3 computer NPCs, or you could play it with 4 other people, and it's just like how the characters look like they have like their specific classes and stuff, and so I was interested from there.
I personally feel like that was a decision that was made between Bethesda and Microsoft.
Yeah.
I think that was like, because it's no secret that there was a lot of like rumors going around that there was a little bit of a conflict between Microsoft and Bethesda on exactly what they were doing with E3. And I think that like it was very important for Microsoft to show unity this year. It's like, look, like we're one entity. Like I don't know if they do that every year, but like it was very important for the first year. So
according
I low key what?
No, according to Pete Hines, he said that Microsoft went to them to ask if Starfield can open, and then that they asked if they can close with Redfall.
That's what I was about to say.
Okay.
Like I feel like they were like, you can close with Redfall as long as like, you know, because here's the thing, like clearly there ain't nothing Bethesda can do. They already started the line. They doing it regardless. You know what I'm saying? But like Microsoft don't want to open this relationship with bad blood. Oh, you forced us to do stuff we didn't want to do. So, you know, Microsoft can't. I feel like Microsoft met them in the middle ground. Like, look, like we'll open with your shit and we'll close with your shit. Like, let's just do this together. Like,
but you had to have Phil Spencer introduce it for Todd Howard. I think it was a really beautiful thing, to be honest. Like, to have both of those new IPs we didn't expect, kind of like Starfield we did, like, but to have Todd Howard come out and just like introduce it, it was a beautiful thing. Like it really does show like a unity there.
You know what's crazy? Because I was thinking about this. Phil Spencer's been at this a long time. I mean, even before he took over where he is now, that dude's probably the last like 5 years of his career before he retires. Like it's going like, especially with Bethesda and the merging, I'm kind of curious who they replace him with when he leaves. Like,
true.
Part of me feels like they'll replace him with someone Bethesda just to like show unity between them, like a Pete Hines or a Todd Howard.
That'd be lit.
Because he's been at this a while, man. I honestly feel like he got 5, maybe 7 years left, somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird.
Oh my God.
We've been so used to him as a like figurehead and
being
to go to. It's gonna be weird seeing him eventually transition out. What else? What I was about to bring up. All right, so the exclusivity factor. So people, even after the Xbox showcase, there were articles still coming out talking as if Starfield may still potentially come to PS5. Even though Todd Howard said what he said, Pete Hines came out and said, he had an interview with GameSpot, and he said what he said about, because the first thing these interviewers are going to do when they get to talk to Bethesda people, well, how do you feel about the PlayStation guys who invested in PlayStation for your games? And then they're forced.
Did you see what Todd Howard said? He was pretty much like, look, I understand they're upset. He's like, but this is the good thing about it. He's like, we can focus on what.
Yeah, can I say something about that real quick?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
For anybody who has a problem with Starfield as an exclusive, or the same people who continue to bash Microsoft for not having exclusive. So why all of a sudden when they finally start getting exclusive, right, big exclusives, it's a fucking problem. Like, this is what people wanted, right? This is what people wanted Xbox to have, was exclusive or some shit like that.
You know what's funny, Chris?
Hold on, let me finish real quick. So I don't get, like, to me it's like, bro, the same way y'all tell people to if it applies, if it don't apply, let it fly. But the same way people tell people yo, if you want to play Final Fantasy, then get a PlayStation. If you want to play Spider-Man, then get a PlayStation. Well, guess what? If you want to play Bethesda games, if you enjoy Bethesda games, right, then get an Xbox or a PC. Like, is at the end of the day, that's what the fuck it is. This is what we want. We want these companies to compete for our money, for our dollars, with the exclusives that they have. So if what you're seeing from Starfield, which they haven't shown anything really, but whenever they finally do decide to show Starfield gameplay and shit like that, and that looks awesome. It looks like Skyrim in space. Apparently they're doing it under a new engine. Finally, they're getting rid of that dog shit creation engine. It's the creation engine 2, not
creation engine
for this one, right? So hopefully this engine is definitely more stable, definitely less buggy and shit like that. If you look at the gameplay and it looks fire, get a fucking Xbox. And at the end of the day, it's like, why does it matter? It's like, this is what we want. We want these companies to have their own identities with their own exclusive. I've always said since last year when Microsoft bought Bethesda, that Bethesda is literally the perfect fit for Xbox. Like, literally, like, they fit right in. Like, everything they showed, like all the games that were shown from Bethesda, like, it looks like, yeah, these are like Xbox games. Like, these are the games that I imagine Xbox exclusive will be, which will be like the first-person shooters and the Western RPGs, which is what Xbox was originally, right? So they're getting back to the roots of that. So in my opinion, this is a good thing. Like, Starfield exclusive, good. Keep it exclusive. Don't bring that shit on PlayStation. This is what Xbox needs.
And it's not cross-gen.
It's not cross-gen.
I was surprised at how many games they showed again that were not cross-gen.
Well, Xbox, like, first off, like, I want to bounce off a little bit what Chris said. Like, this is Starfield. Like, I can't imagine when, like, the next Fallout gets announced and it's an exclusive, or Elder Scrolls 6 gets announced and it's an exclusive. Like, people think people losing their shit over Starfield. Wait a couple years and they finally announce Elder Scrolls 6, and it's an Xbox exclusive on that.
There you go. Y'all got years to save up for Series X. I don't know what to tell y'all.
I mean, people.
Like, they got a lower barrier entry, so it's just like, I don't know. Like, it's
here's the thing.
There's all types of ways that you could play the games.
I'm curious to see, what happened, because like I said, I saw a whole lot of people on my timeline showing up with Xbox Series X out of the blue, bro. So Xbox did something right over the weekend to make somebody want an Xbox today and not wait until 2023 or 2024 when all their games are supposedly coming out. I don't know. Maybe it's all these day one Game Pass drops that's coming out. I don't know if you guys have seen them lately, but this Game Pass calendar looking crazy.
It is.
It is. And you know what's good about that, kid? What's good about that is clearly this year, besides Halo and Forza, if you're not into those games, it is going to be a little dry of a year for you. But the good thing about it is, like, if you got that Game Pass, man, like, it's like I've always said, like, exclusives are important, but value's way more important. And people can pay that $10, $15 a month and get valued games. Like, I mean, they're releasing some good games. Hades, the Born to Blood, where the hell that game's called?
Chris Tale.
Back for Blood.
Chris Tale is coming real soon as well. Sable, the Gunk.
2 going to be a sleeper. Like
12 minutes.
It's a lot easier to let this year be a little bit better on people that don't like those games, because they're getting a consistent amount of flow of games that they want to play. I mean, we had Outriders a couple months ago, MLB The Show. Those games still ain't left Game Pass. Like, and not to mention, those are just the games they felt like showing to us now. They're going to do those random drops every couple of months.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Scorn is coming soon. Another one that I'm really excited about that I want to play. So, just about, like, all of it. It's just like talk about the exclusivity thing and all of that. This is like, I mean, this is business at the end of the day. Like, we've been saying that for a while now between both companies. Well, all three companies really. And it's just like, if you are really invested or interested in these titles, then you're gonna find a way to play them. And I mean, fortunately, Microsoft and Xbox are giving you all types of ways, even for last gen consoles. Apparently, they're going to be trying to get people in there because, I mean, that ups the player count. Think about Halo playing on Xbox One and all of that, or just like any of that. It's just like allowing people to get into these games who can't get these consoles because people are still having issues getting any of these consoles, I mean, they're opening the door for you to play some of these next gen titles through the cloud and all of that. And I mean, it's a really good time to be like an Xbox gamer, because to be honest, I mean, out of the 30 games that they showed there, only 2 of them are the 1 or 2 of them I wouldn't play. Like, out of that, I have a plethora of games coming just this year that I'm ready to play. And then next year, I have a bunch of titles to play that are coming as well. So it's like, I'm not lacking on anything around entertainment or things that interest me. Shout out Atomic Heart. Let's go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is.
And not to mention that, like, we're just talking about Game Pass games. Like, if you go out and buy third-party games, like, there's still Battlefield coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Call of Duty, I'm sure, is coming out this year. I'm assuming some form of probably Assassin's Creed, maybe an expansion or something's coming out. You know, Sea Thieves is getting an expansion. That Far Cry 6 is coming out. Like, there's still plenty of stuff to play. And if you do enjoy, you know, Forza Horizon 5 and Halo, like, Halo's probably going to be the biggest it's ever been in years coming this holiday. Like, the fact that it's a free-to-play game, the fact that they brought the Halo Foundation has been restored a little bit. Like, I enjoyed the Halo 5, but I know a lot of hardcore people didn't like all the movements. And it's just like, it seems like they kind of met people at the middle ground. What's crazy is like the way they're handling battle passes. Like, they're doing it completely differently than other people. And, you know what's funny, kid? Tell me those AI personality things. Tell me they ain't gonna milk the shit out of that stuff.
Bro, the type of voices they're gonna let you get, bro.
The customization with the AI is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
For people who don't like Halo 5 because of movement, let me say this: there's still going to be movement inside Halo Infinite, right? So there's a game for you if you don't like that. It's called Master Chief Collection. You can still play Halo 3. You can still play Halo 2. So that's for you guys, right? Blizznut made a very interesting comment, which I want to highlight. He says PlayStation fans saying it's coming to PC anyways. They don't know that the OS of the PC is Microsoft, so it means Microsoft still gets the money. Which is true. So that's
regardless where they buy these games, Microsoft's getting the money. If they buy it on Steam, Microsoft's still getting the biggest portion of it. They buy it off Windows 10, Microsoft's still getting the money.
Yeah. But about Halo, if you don't enjoy the natural evolution of Halo games throughout time, because you can't keep the gameplay stale, you can't keep it with no sprint, no ability, stuff like that. Like, at some point in time, it's gonna get pretty boring. So they have to change the gameplay and make the gameplay different from other Halo games without making the game so divergent. And I think that's what Halo 5 did. Halo 5 was a good balance because they brought back the traditional map style of a Halo 2 and a Halo 3. They cut back on some of the abilities that Halo 4 had and added its own twist to it, and it still felt like Halo.
It did, because I've always, like, I have this personal conspiracy that I feel like the people that bitch the most about the movement being sped up a little bit, I feel like they're the people that can only use the BR. They're very, very one-dimensional people in Halo. They can only use like 2 different types of weapons, and everything that they've done in the Halo 5, it made the BR less effective. Sure, you can still kill with it, but no longer can you go in the middle of Guardian and someone's stuck in the middle and they're just done. And like, they want that Halo that they start getting. They want that Halo that they start getting shot. Like, you're the only thing that you can do is Halo jump and turn around and fight them. That's the Halo they want.
Yo, and Addict is right, yo. By the way, what's up? What's going on, people?
What's good, Nick?
Yo,
Let's go, baby.
He is so right, yo. Fuck these. Oh, I'm sorry. But forget these Halo 3 fanboy. Yo, they do not like the fact that you can evade from the BR. Like, he is right. And that's what it is. That's why they don't like the sprint. Yeah. And he was spot on with that. I'm glad he said that because, you know, a lot of people don't.
On this, like on Halo 5, they didn't like that Spartan charge. You shoot with the BR Spartan charge like and then shoot them one time after you do it. Like, right. They want that, you know, and they have every right to want that type because that's what they grew up on. But it's like, look, like you got to evolve with the times. Like, you know, guns were pretty diverse back then, but let's be real. The majority of the guns people wanted to use, especially high level people, was the BR and the hand cannon. Like, it's like you got to change. You got to change things up. You can't have the same game over and over again because you might appeal to a lot of the hardcore audience, but you're not going to ever grow the brand. And
open it up.
I've always felt like the foundation of Halo has never been, if you can sprint, if you can ADS, it's always been map control. It's been fighting parts of the map and letting the other parts of the map go. Knowing that
facts. That's what it's all about.
I want to keep a hold of the sniper rifle because I know someone over there is gonna wreck me with it. So if we keep this out of the map, we'll always have the sniper rifle. But sure, we might have to let the sword go, or the shotgun go, or maybe we'll go over there and try to grab it real quick. But it's always been about
right now.
what part of the map can I hold.
Yeah.
So I said, man, a lot of these dudes are
yeah, shit, I liked 4 multiplayer, and 5's multiplayer, so I ain't give shit.
No, that's
like you just have to get better with each game. It's just like if each game's multiplayer was just the same, then it was just be like, then there's no point of moving on to the next game. Like just go back to the first one. Like,
yeah, you guys start playing with us though, Death Grips.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna play with you. Like shit, I gotta get the expansion, bro. Like you gotta understand me. I gotta get the expansion. It's like downloading and like that shit over and over again has gotten kind of annoying. Even though it's faster, it's still annoying. So,
what game?
Halo.
Yeah, Halo.
I think I'm gonna just wait for Infinite at this point. But I think that I don't know, kid. How you feel about playing Sea of Thieves when this expansion comes out? I think I'm.
I want to play the.
Hey, man, y'all ready to go? Like,
I just
hey,
want to
man,
get through the. I don't mind playing the the Pirates of the Caribbean story. You got an original story. I will play. Give me a set in stone objective. I will do it. I'll enjoy the game. So yeah, that's next week though, right? That's next week or this?
Yeah, the 22nd.
Yeah. I'm
actually trying. I'm trying my hardest to get Rare on ILP. It's been a hassle.
Oh, they not. Listen, man. If you get them on there, I need you to grill them about
them on Everwild.
Grill them. On that shit.
You literally just guarantee me not getting them if I'm gonna grill them.
I already have this game installed.
Grill them on Banjo.
Listen, man.
I'm not downloading Sea of Thieves no more,
I need the inside scoop on Everwild, man, because they're rebooting that game, and like I've been saying it for a while now, man. They had no clue what they were doing with the game. And the thing is, it's not to shit on them, but it's like, dude, like you showed it off in what was it, 2019 or 2020?
No, they said what it was going to be.
The thing
that it wasn't clear.
Yeah,
but they had like a basic. It was like an adventure god like type of game, and they just doesn't sound.
They really
if you get people like that on the show, like. You can't ask them questions they know that we know because then what's going to end up happening is that they're going to feel uncomfortable. They're not going to come back on the show. I heard someone say Banjo. Like I'm pretty sure the majority of the team that's working for Rare didn't even work on Banjo. So like that's an irrelevant question. He's going to be like, well, that was before my time.
I still would like another one.
I get it. It was just a joke though. Like I'm not.
No, they should make one though.
Ask them like heavy questions and shit like that. Like they give you like a list of like questions that you can't ask.
Well, what they do is they kind of be like, okay, you can get them on, but we want you to stay. We want you to talk about Sea of Thieves and the expansion because obviously that's why you would have them on. You're not going to have them on to speak about a title that they can't even tell IGN. That makes no sense. So
yeah, facts.
Well, we all want to know that question, so it should be asked, man.
No, because you burn that bridge, then they'll never come back. And at high moments that you would really want them to come back. So
I'm gonna see if I can get somebody behind the scenes at Rare to really,
Wow, boy, look! I hope you don't know none of them dudes, bro.
He trying to be on some Nightcrawler type shit.
Hop on LinkedIn, connect with some guys.
Who's responsible for Killer Instinct? That's all I want to know, man. I'm so mad at Rare, man.
You talking about the 2013 one?
Yeah. Period. Like the game is dead. They don't even talk about it.
The 2013 I think was Iron Galaxy. Then it got moved over to double
to
Helix.
Extinction.
No, it was double Helix.
Double Helix.
You gotta do a
Galaxy. Yeah.
How would you guys feel? Because I know right now Warner Brothers is looking to sell individual studios and not like the whole company, because I think they're at that stage.
NetherRealm.
How would you guys feel if they bought NetherRealm and NetherRealm
needs to come to market?
That'd be lit, but yo, they not even
NetherRealm and Monolith.
No,
Yeah.
but they would need another realm because PlayStation is locking all the fucking fighting games as exclusive. So
That's
they
what I'm
would
saying.
need
Yeah,
a
yeah, that's
fighting
true.
game
The moment
developer
the
like
moment
another
play,
realm.
the moment PlayStation bought Evo, there's nothing Microsoft could ever do in the
Yeah.
head-to-head market in now. Like
How
ever.
good? Like I don't like that though because Killer Instinct was a good game, right? So
Well, see, the thing
I'm
is,
like,
they're gonna like if Killer Instinct came back, Sony's not gonna not let them come to the event. But the thing is like that's where the heart and soul of that community is. And what do you think? Do you think Killer Instinct posters gonna be everywhere? No, it's gonna be the shit that's rocking with PlayStation will be everywhere.
yeah,
The
of course.
Tekkens and the
Yo.
Street Fighters, like.
a lot of people
No.
upset about that shit though, bro. Like they
No,
just
just like-
straight abandoned. Hold on, first of all, we didn't even get a season 3 story yet.
Yeah,
They
we
owe
did.
me
Yeah.
money, bro. Like I'm mad about this shit. Like I'm not even like this shit crazy. Like I ain't get a season 3 story.
I agree. I
Like,
agree
what's
with
up?
Nick. That was a good ass
Yeah.
fighting game too, man. That was a really
No,
good
it
fighting
was,
game.
Oh,
like-
That
I'm
was
mad about
matter of
that
fact,
shit.
that was like one of the first ones to use what's it called, a rollback netcode. Yo, and it's still like one of the best. Like the netcode for Killer Instinct on 2013 Xbox, it's still like second to none. Like that shit's still phenomenal. So it's like I don't know. I wish they would come out with a new one.
Like, I mean,
Yeah,
even
that
though
goes-
Shaboom, she kind of like joked about it and everything, just like to have them, if they did get acquired by Microsoft and then they came out like just like saying that that it was MK versus Killer Instinct, like
I
that'd
think
be a
that's what
really
they
good
would do.
game.
I
No,
think
but you know
they
what
wouldn't
Go ahead, Addict. My bad.
I don't think they would make a Killer Instinct off the go. I think they would make a Mortal Kombat versus Killer Instinct.
No, that's what I
but-
just said.
No, but
That's what I
there's,
said, like,
there's
having,
a heavy
like, a
heavy rumor
versus.
right now that that NetherRealm is actually working on a Marvel versus DC fighting game.
They-
So,
Oh,
Xbox suck when it comes to fighting games, bro. And we need to just say it in public so they can hear us, bro.
Like,
Like
shit.
straight up, y'all suck
We
for
gotta
that
make
bullshit.
and really get the community to back that because listen, it would be great if they can revive the Killer Instinct franchise and really support it and get people behind it. That's the
Mhm.
biggest thing is the support. So we definitely got to lobby for it, Twitter, Reddit, whatever it may be.
Unfortunately, when the restructure with Xbox happened, it does look like Killer Instinct fell through the cracks.
yeah, because
It's
people have been campaign like Maximilian dude.
Mhm.
He's made
He
several
has.
campaigns about bringing
Right.
Killer Instinct. He's even hosted a tournament to bring Killer Instinct back.
Yeah, he has.
Facts,
People want it. Yeah,
facts.
people want it. The fighting game community, they want it.
Yeah, they want it,
I think-
but they ignoring them niggas, yo. They ignoring all of us, yo.
I don't necessarily think they ignore them. I think Microsoft has went away from doing as many second party stuff that makes sense, like especially their own IPs, like because Avalanche, it's rumored that they bought them. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if they did or not. But even if they didn't buy them, Avalanche is working on their own title. They're not working on like a Microsoft title. IO Interactive, they're working on some Dragon Fantasy game. That's their game, not Microsoft's game. I mean, Microsoft might own the IP. I don't know, but only can go off of the stuff that now. So they own Killer Instinct, and I think they kind of I think that was one of the reasons they were interested in Warner Brothers is because it doesn't matter what you own if you have no one to make it. It kind of puts you in a bad spot. And Iron Galaxy, they're no longer available to make the game.
Right? They're not even. Give it to PlayStation then. Get an IP to somebody in. You know what I mean?
PlayStation
So we
doesn't
can
make
play it
fighting.
again.
All they do-
Like I want to
Well,
play this
no,
shit, yo.
PlayStation-
I want to play the
PlayStation-
fucking game, yo. Like that's it. Like
PlayStation
you know what I
don't
mean?
even have a fighting game studio.
Yeah, don't even have a fighting game studio, bro. You bugging. You gonna give it to one of these studios and have
But
this
you know what?
shit
But you know what
Dragon Ball
PlayStation
and
would do?
One Piece
I might be
like
bugging,
Nah,
but
you know what?
I do want to play the game though. That's at the end of the day. I do want to play another Killer Instinct.
Give that
That's
shit
the
to Band. Give that shit
reality.
Give that shit to
No,
Bandai.
but
Shit's
Smooth,
gonna play
PlayStation-
like One Piece. That shit's gonna be horrible.
No, but
Oh man.
no, Smooth. PlayStation don't have a fighting game, but what they will do, they'll get like Capcom or Arc System Works. They'll partner up with them to make it and make it an exclusive.
I don't know.
Microsoft
I
can
don't
do
know.
the same thing.
I don't know if Sony would go that far because they already own the market. So literally, they're making stuff to compete with the stuff they already have. Like I'm pretty sure they're probably
Yeah, they
making
have
moves on
it
it
Street
would
Fighter.
just be in
So
Microsoft's best interest to just buy NetherRealm and a Mortal Kombat IP and
It would.
and own
if
Mortal
I
Kombat
were-
and
of course.
Killer Instinct. And you do that.
yeah, so
Yo,
I
I-
think they should be another round.
I used to send them dudes DMs and fucking tweet them. And they just ignore the shit out of everybody. That even Maximilian, they ignore all of us, dog. Like,
You know, it'd be
I don't
crazy if they
even.
had like. You know, it'd be crazy if they had like an XO this year and they ended it with Killer Instinct and they bought NetherRealm.
Yo, that'd be
That's it,
hot.
man. They have to do
That'd be-
that.
that-
Dumb. I'd be sick.
That would be huge.
Buy another
Actually-
realm and buy Monolith. Get a Lord
Bro.
of the Rings IP game.
They wouldn't get
That's
there.
it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't get
Yo,
there.
Killer Instinct was like one of the main reasons.
Oh, doesn't
why I
Amazon
bought-
have it? Oh yeah,
why I bought an
Amazon
Xbox
doesn't
in
know what they're doing with Lord of the
2013.
Rings.
Like Killer Instinct and Dead
Yeah.
Rising were like the reasons I bought Xbox. So if they came out with a new Killer Instinct and it was like and if it was made by NetherRealm and it looked phenomenal and shit like that would be huge, bro. I'll get an Xbox for that shit.
Oh, what's up with that franchise though?
Wow.
What's
You
up
know
with
what I
Dead
was-
Rising?
You know what I was telling Kid
That belongs
Smooth
to
a couple,
Capcom.
Oh, yeah.
a week ago. I was telling Kid Smooth, I was like, obviously E3's passed, but you know that rumor of Cryotech that Microsoft was trying to buy
Crytek.
Cryotech or whatever, whatever.
Crytek.
But I was saying that it would have been funny. Like, imagine if they would have ended the show with Horizon 2, like, because they finally own the IP in the company. Like, I don't necessarily think that would get a lot of other people's attention, but it would get a lot of the core audience's attention if they announced a Rise 2.
Yeah.
Oh man, then we gonna start seeing them God of War and Rise comparisons and all that.
I'm curious to see. Like I said, they obviously got some more stuff to do because Halo still needs a release date. I think that you either do it at an event or you're going to be buying up some freaking NBA Finals basketball airtime to.
When do y'all think
Pardon
it's
me,
coming
Phil.
out?
I,
Yeah.
Part of me
guess.
feel like that. Part of me feel like that's a 2022 game. I don't know why, but
You think it's getting delayed?
I think it's going to be in the beginning of
Do you
2022.
do you think they will do something where it's like they release the free to play multiplayer, but the
I think
actual
since
infinite
they already came out
campaign-
openly and said that they're both going to be together, if they
Okay.
can't make a 2021 release date, which it looks like they're going to hit the 2021, like the way it seems like they're just waiting for certain variables to happen before they show their release date. But part of me is like, if they release it in like October and they wait 2 months, like that's not a lot of time to promote the game. So I'm just like, I feel like this scenario that they're going to do, I don't know, this is complete speculation, is they're going to launch the beta for the multiplayer in like September, October, and it's going to be 3 months long. And by the time the beta's over, the game's going to be finished.
Oh my god.
that don't make any sense. I don't buy that. I'm not even gonna let that enter my mindset. So I'm just pretending.
I'm just like, to me, kid, though,
crazy.
like it's the same thing I said with Horizon. Like, why not have that release date? Like, that makes no sense. Like, we're in the middle of the year. Like, the only way you don't shoot out a release date is if you're unsure if it's going to make this year. Like, and it would be different if they said it was the beginning of the year or something, like, or the summer. But they said the holiday. You can't go any further than that in a year than the holiday. So
Yeah.
to me, it's just like they could easily make this year. You know, I could be completely overlooking stuff, but it's just like, to me, if you don't say a date in June, you're not sure if it's coming out in 2021.
I think we'll have
Like,
a
I mean,
release date pretty soon.
he may have some validity to that, and that's probably why
I ain't
they
buying
put.
that bullshit.
No, I'm just saying he may, and it's just like maybe that's why they put Horizon 5 there. It's just kind of like a pillow. It's just like, hey, yo, if this don't hit, we gonna try to soften this blow for a lot of these people, and it's just like, yeah, the Horizon 5 looks great, but a lot of people are awaiting Halo. So it's just like, hopefully, at this little next showing they got, don't they have another showing later in the year or something?
I mean, they
there's
can release
a lot.
it.
They got. Bethesda still has QuakeCon. They could do an EXO if they're planning on doing that, but you can't
could do
wait
it at
until EXO.
Gamescom.
You can't wait until EXO for the simple fact that takes place in November. Gamescom would be like probably the latest you give a release date. That's because that's,
You know what's funny?
August.
If Microsoft's petty, they launch that shit a couple hours after Sony does their little conference this year.
That'd
man.
be fucking
I
retarded.
mean, yeah.
Jesus.
So I mean, if you want to give predictions, right? I said I was on the November 15th thing, but since Forza's occupying November, I mean, Forza's has never come out in November, with the exception of Xbox One launch, right? Which was the standard Forza. So, but the Horizon series is usually a summer game, a late summer game. So the fact that this is launching that late, that's going to be their biggest game for November. August, they already have Psychonauts. July, they have Flight Sim surrounded by some other second party and third party deals that they got. That leaves October. And I'm going to say they're partnering up with EA for Battlefield. Battlefield comes out the 22nd. I'm going to say Halo comes out October 8th.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I know they don't want to collide with with Battlefield at all. You know, they want to have a separate release on Battlefield. And in regards to Call of Duty, nobody's worried about Call of Duty because apparently Sledgehammer's making the next Call of Duty and it's a disaster.
No,
right
people
now.
are still worried about Call of Duty. The worst Call of Duty still outsells everything.
Yeah, it still outsells everything,
is,
but the player base isn't going to be there to play that multiplayer very long because that game's going to be used to prop up Warzone. That's all it's going to do.
I get that, but at the end of the day, there's no
It
realm.
gets bought.
There's no reality that I believe that Microsoft don't know when all these games are coming out.
Of course, they know when all these games are coming out.
Yeah, they could put a release date down. Now they might not know Sony games coming out. They might be waiting for that. That could be a possibility. That could be available. Because speaking of that, someone in the chat asked, "Are we going to talk about Demon Souls might be coming out for PS4?"
Allegedly.
Yeah,
I don't.
Because it was
we can talk
listed.
about it because
like,
it does coincide with the next thing I was going to bring up before we get out of here. So, I mean, I've seen the rumor of.
No,
it
it's
being
not
in
even
the
a
database.
fucking rumor, bro.
It's in the database. It can mean
yeah.
anything. It can mean anything.
Exactly. It's because they already said that they started on PS4, but then they switched over. It's the same thing with Ratchet and Clank. Insomniac said they started on PS4, but then they started doing more things that they scrapped the PS4 version and went to PS5. Guarantee you can find a PS4 database for Ratchet and Clank. I bet you can find a PlayStation. Hold on. I bet you can find a PlayStation database for Starfield because they probably started working on the PlayStation version, but obviously since Microsoft bought them, they're no longer doing a PlayStation version. Remember, there was a PlayStation version of Gears 3, a PS3 version that never came out to PS3. I think people need to like. I mean, it's everybody's so quick.
I mean, it's still in the database. Regardless, you could speculate it. I mean, that's
you can speculate
solid to stand on.
That's to me, it's like if it happens, it's a fucking L, and I'll be pissed, right?
Jesus.
And I'll do
Even
a
after you done
rant
played
on
it
Sony.
and beat it.
Yeah, because they
believe in generations.
Right, because they sold it. Yeah, this can only be done on this version, right, of Demon Souls can only be done on PS5 and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm. So maybe they just want more money.
That would be right. That
they can't get the PS5s out there fast enough.
People are so quick, right? Oh, they have a PS4 version in the database. They're so quick to not even think things through. They're just like, oh, it's gonna come to PS4. It's gonna come to PS4. It's like, nah, you don't. I mean, that.
I just thought.
I think what it is, Chris, is like we can't act like what hasn't been happening here recently. Like Gran Turismo was supposed to be PS5 exclusive, and now it's a PS4 game. Like clearly that was being worked on, and they decided to hide that. Like Godfall, I assumed it was going to be a PS5 exclusive, and now it's coming to PS4.
Yeah, that did too.
Yeah, how can you do a timed exclusive against your own platform?
I mean, it's just because, like,
I mean, I don't know anyone.
That is kind of fucked up. I never even thought about it like that. They had a timed exclusive
instead of a remaster, we got a demaster.
Yo, that is insane.
Yeah, that would be
like if they already
be a huge L.
Like the thing is, if they already had the things there, like the assets and everything that they built for it there, then it's like, I mean, to prop up your newest console sales, I get it, like to promote it, just to be like, hey yo, this is what we have for it, this is what it does, blah blah blah, so people aren't comparing against itself. It's just like, it's not a bad idea. And if they get like a good bulk of the sales to cover up like the PS5, it's just like, hey yo, should we got as much as we're gonna get right now because we can't ship or like get as many PS5s as we want out there, then it's like, why not release for the PS4? That's where your bulk is at. Get them on board. You're still getting your paper. You're getting the support there. So it's just like turn your shit into an ecosystem. I mean, get your bread. Like I get that. I get like those who are very invested, who are just like it's an entitlement thing. So it's like, hey yo, see, I got the new shit.
It's not an entitlement thing. It's a marketing thing.
Hold up. I'm not.
It's a marketing thing. They marketed the game for PS5 and the way they position themselves.
I'm saying for those personally, and you hear it all the time. You hear it all kind of funny. You hear them say, yeah, like, I have the new shit. All I want is new shit. All I want is my shit supported. Fuck everybody else. It's just like, all right, that's cool. But you still have to understand, like, it is a, like you said, marketing thing. But this is a company. They're going to want to get bulks of money. That's their goal. So
Listen,
it's
and
just
it's
Yeah,
like,
but
Sony-
gaming is
Sony-
a separate hobby.
that-
I want everything catered to me.
Sony
yeah, I
Sony can do
understand
no
that,
wrong.
but I'm not like that. But I
Sony
get
can
what
do
you're
no
saying.
wrong. Jim Ryan isn't a liar. Yeah, you know, PS5 exclusives. We believe in generations. Xbox is doing cross-gen. It doesn't matter. We don't care. Yeah, Sony can do no wrong, man.
Clearly, Xbox
Yeah.
believes in generations for the simple fact that they've announced the most games that are for their next gen only, and the way that they're going about keeping last gen involved is by turning Xbox One consoles into cloud boxes so they can at least stream the games.
You know what's crazy too, kid? Is like if Smooth, it feels like after Halo and Forza, there's gonna be
That's
very
it.
few games that's on Xbox
Which-
One anymore. Like, because I'm pretty sure Motorsport 8 is gonna be next gen only.
next gen
Fable's
only.
gonna be next gen only. Valve's gonna be
Actually,
next
all
gen
their
only.
games in
Starfield's gonna be next
2022
gen only.
are next gen only. Like all their announcements with the exception of like you're gonna have those games like because we don't know when that shit fucking Crossfire X is supposed to be coming out.
Yeah.
Damn,
But the thing
I
is-
ain't think
I don't know
about
when the
that,
fuck
yo.
that's
I'm
coming
glad
out,
y'all
man.
said that. I didn't think
Been in the
about
dark
that.
for a
The
minute.
thing is though,
Yeah.
how damn I lost my train of thought
Crossfire
with
X?
this with the whole
Next gen,
next gen thing is that
cross-gen.
you know what that means is that I believe they're probably I feel like the at least for Xbox I feel like they're about to start kicking into gear of getting more consoles out over the next
Well, we see it
6
today.
months.
Like
Yeah.
today was just insane with the amount of people that were getting
Yeah.
Series X's, and then this is the timeline right now is falling in line with what we said last year. How 2022 is going to be the start of where they're going to drop support for like PS4, Xbox One, and really start focusing on next gen. And then a lot of these titles, like,
Not
did you guys
Sony.
see the recommended and minimum specs for
For
Starfield 2 on
Stalker 2,
PC?
yeah.
That shit's ridiculous. I think the
Minimum-
recommended's like a 5700 XT and 2070 Super and an SSD.
Yeah.
Damn.
Dude, also the crazy thing is now you think about it with this whole cloud stuff, Xbox can actually drop off last gen fairly safely now that once they have
Yeah.
cloud implemented in all the consoles and TVs and phones and they're replacing their Xbox One server blades with Series server blades, so they literally can just like, all right, we done with that. We can move on and do next gen only games now. That's
You know what's
kinda
crazy?
Yeah, go ahead. Alex.
After they bought Bethesda, it really feels like they're gonna have like the end of 2022 and beyond. They're gonna have to start spacing stuff out. Like games are gonna be completely done, and they're gonna have to delay them internally just so it doesn't eat up something
Absolutely.
else.
Yeah, because right now 2023 is probably packed. Hopefully
I would say there's
work-
probably 3 to 4 AAA title games, like games coming out in 2023.
Yeah, I would
Like
say
they-
2023. It's looking like that's probably going to be the time where I was like, yeah, I'm definitely picking up the next.
And I think 2022 is still going to be a good year. It's just not going to be as good as 2023.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
like
it's
they
gonna be,
don't.
It's going to be that first point where we could start seeing some of their first party, kick out. I mean, obviously Bethesda is going to be carrying Xbox for 2022 with you're going to have two original games, and then we're gonna get like the the leftovers of Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo. So they gotta be carrying.
You know what they're gonna do, kid? They're gonna have like a definitive edition with like DLC and stuff only on Xbox.
Oh man.
Like they
What do
don't
you-
want to, because then like their roadmap for these releases for the big AAA things, like I don't know if they said it or like somebody on the podcast said it, but just like 4 big AAAs to cover the quarters, and then it's like that's really smart. And then you have like the third party support and indie stuff, like just cover and support the in between. You don't want them to overshoot. We're like, you see so many people asking for so many titles, so many big AAAs. But then what if we have something happen just like what happened with the Xbox One, where they put out everything they had in the beginning and they didn't have anything else throughout? Yeah, they got a lot of studios that could produce, but this is like, just play smart with your with your ammo, let's say. Just like hit
What
them a couple times here and just have the smaller stuff support the bigger stuff and just keep it like that. Have 4 AAAs throughout a year, like big AAAs throughout the year, maybe a 5th one for that extra oomph, but don't just shoot your whole load and then you don't
think they're
have
going
anything
to.
and then we're waiting again. Yeah, I'm just saying, just play it smart.
Microsoft's plan is that they want to continuously feed the Game Pass machine. Like,
Yeah, of
just out of
course.
curiosity, real quick, what games would you guys assume is coming out in 2023? Because people keep saying 2023 is going to be a good year. I'm curious what people think. What games coming out in 2023?
I feel like Fable
I
is
feel like
hitting
yeah.
for
every
sure.
game we saw-
Fable, Avow,
Hellblade.
Yeah, Fable,
yeah,
Avow.
maybe Hellblade 2.
Yeah.
Because I
I
think
feel like Hellblade 2 could be 2022 or 2023 for some reason.
no,
Like, I don't
Hellblade's
know.
2023. Hellblade's
Okay.
2023.
Well, I mean,
Like,
hey,
showing off
wishful
more stuff
thinking.
tomorrow.
So
I think you'll see Avowed, Hellblade, Fable.
Maybe Outer Worlds
Which-
2.
I think Fable will be the holiday game, so that might get pushed to 2024, depending on how bad COVID hit them. Which it looks like Playground, like they have a good pulse on what's going on. I don't know how much development time they lost on Fable. Maybe not
Yeah.
much. I don't know.
I think they lost a lot.
I think you'll see Forza Horizon 6 or whatever the hell that one's that year. You'll I think 2024 you'll probably see the Outer Worlds 2. I think that's probably when it will come out.
yeah, for sure.
And that's kind of crazy if you think about that. Like,
No,
like,
it is.
you're
There's a lot
going
of
from
RPGs
Avowed-
coming.
Yeah, they got RPG out after RPG, and like probably
Remember,
2025
there's
you're going to
still
see Elder Scrolls
studios
6.
They haven't even announced their games yet. Compulsion, we haven't heard.
Yeah,
shit
shit,
from-
Compulsion still
we haven't heard
hasn't.
from
That's a
freaking,
third-person title too.
We know Coalition is out of commission for a while, but they haven't shown us anything.
But didn't they have like a second team working on something else? If I recall,
Yeah,
like they
They're
had
like,
like
supposed to make
multiple
a smaller
titles on the
title
top line.
before they go back to Gears. They're supposed
Yeah.
to make
Yeah,
a smaller
exactly.
title.
So that's really good though.
Bro,
Yeah,
I just
and
thought,
Exile
yo,
has a game that they're supposed to be working on.
2022
Ultimate,
is probably going to be one of my best years of games
Oh,
in
yeah.
general. Because, like, I was saying this before the podcast, my top 5 gaming franchise is Final Fantasy, Zelda, the Dark Souls series, God of War, and Metal Gear Solid. In 2022,
I think-
we're getting Elden Ring, Breath of the Wild 2, Final Fantasy 16, and God of War Ragnarok. The only thing I
Yep.
need is a Metal Gear Solid remake, and I am fucking in heaven.
Yeah,
I
you're
low-key-
set. Like,
You gonna you gonna be able to
like-
play it? Are you gonna be able to play Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 on a regular Switch?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
probably.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably
Oh,
most likely.
shit.
most likely.
Yeah.
I
Oh
personally feel like-
shit!
I feel like God of War is coming out the early 2023. I don't think it's coming out next year.
Nah, I think it's
Damn,
coming
you think
out.
it's getting delayed a whole nother year?
Well,
Yeah,
it's like- look,
It's-
they
Well, it didn't
they
have a
shot that
release
20
date really.
They shot
So
that
it's just-
2021 out of fucking nowhere. I don't think they ever intended on keeping that release date.
Yeah.
And I feel like COVID's going to put. Like, I feel like if the game was going to come out, it would have come out like the middle of 2022. But I think COVID probably pushed it back to 2023. Are they going to come out now and say it's in 2023? No, they're going to want to see and make sure if they can make that 2022 release date. And I don't think they can, because every developer
I
got hit
agree.
by COVID. But you needed to tell me they haven't? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, see,
Unless
even
it's
Corey said to direct all like discrepancies to him and quit attacking his
I
people.
think-
Like they
I
working
think
hard.
2020. You'll see God of War like March of 2023.
All right. I mean,
Yeah, I
I
believe
think
it.
when they get back inside the studio,
Nah, I
they're
think it's
gonna want to do more with the
2022.
game anyways, because it's a bit more easier to be in a group of people inside of a studio than working remote in a video
The
game.
thing is, though, is these studios are scared to do like real crazy crunch because Jason Schreier over here like harassing people. Well, not
oh,
necessarily.
listen,
harassing.
I don't think they give a
Like,
fuck
they-
about what Jason
they-
Schreier.
Nah,
has to
they
offer.
do. They do. They do.
Mm-hmm.
They really do. You just saying it. You just saying it.
Jason Schreier, literally the boogeyman to these publishers.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey,
they look at they look in closets. When they go on these things, man. They looking in closets. You ain't talking to Jason Schreier, are you? Like they.
Yo.
the-
Speaking of crunch, yo, big shout out to
Insomniac.
Insomniac Games, because a lot of the developers came out and say, yo, they didn't even crunch at all over there in Insomniac, and they were able
Hey,
to
Smooth, is
deliver
that headset up
Miles
there?
Morales,
My bad.
Ratchet and Clank, and shit like that.
Like the
So,
wireless jump.
Of course they did. Look at
that available?
the hours that the game is. It's just DLC for real.
Well,
Like-
here we go.
Because we're trying to get a new headset, bro. Like, fuck.
Yo, let's just keep it real, though, Chris. Like, come
It's
on,
not
bro.
a DLC. It's not a DLC game.
It's DLC, fam.
No, it's
Like
not.
all this shit they got.
Nah,
Yo, Sony just straight shitted on a lot. A lot of this shit they just came out with is DLC, bro.
Well, are
Like-
you talking? Are you talking about
Spider Man, Ratchet and Clank,
Well,
all this shit is DLC, bro.
But what does it
Chill.
matter if it was
Chill.
DLC? Like, I mean, y'all still
Don't
played the
do
game
that.
And
enjoyed
don't-
it, like,
don't
Jesus.
I'm just calling it what it is,
No,
fam.
don't do
Look, to
that.
be honest with you,
How
guys,
is
if it
Ratchet
was
and Clank
Come
a
at
DLC?
me, man.
How
if
is
it was
Ratchet and Clank a
if it was
DLC?
DLC, I think it would be out. Or it would be out this year. Like if it was not, that's 3 years.
No,
I mean,
not
we're-
for God
we're
of
talking-
War.
What is it
Yo, they
DLC
got-
to? Wait, Nick, what is Ratchet and Clank DLC to?
What?
Wait.
The first one, it looked the same to me. Like I'm not saying nothing different.
That's true.
I don't see it.
No,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah,
saying,
all
bro.
right, Nick.
Yo, Nick, I
Oh
tried to
my
help
God.
you. I tried to help
Man,
you,
listen.
Nick.
Yo, y'all ain't helped me on that. Hold on. Look, you ain't helped me when.
Wilding right now.
Man, I can't believe this game right now.
I tried to tell you, Nick, don't do it.
Stop
Don't
Yo, I can talk on my ass. I can do it. But look. That's why I say it.
You have Xbox fans in this call right now that's playing Ratchet and Clank that would disagree.
Oh, y'all niggas clap. Yo, hold up. You capping for a fucking AA game? Like, come on, bro.
What does it matter what the budget was for the game?
All right, it's a AAA game. All right, I'm sorry. It's a AAA game.
Explain to me.
Ratchet and Clank is a AAA game now. It's a AAA game now.
It's been a AAA
It's-
game. Ratchet and Clank been
What
AAA.
the
though.
fuck?
Son,
Ratchet and Clank is a AAA game?
I don't know.
Yo, you raising your voice like that, make it more of a AAA game. Like it's not a AAA
You
game.
got it, Nick. You got it.
Like what the fuck are you talking about?
It's a AA game.
That's all I'm saying.
It's cool. It's a AA
Which
game, Nick.
Ratchet
You
and
got
Clank
it.
have you?
It is a AA game. Like what the fuck?
Which Ratchet and Clank have you played?
Been done by Insomniac.
Okay, so
Which Ratchet and Clank game have you played? Answer the question.
I played all of them over my
Yeah,
cousin's house.
Nah, you ain't that goddamn one. There's no way you.
But look, no, check this out. Hold on. So everybody listening, right? So Ratchet and Clank is a AAA game, right? Just want to get this clear.
1000%.
Okay, cool. It always been a AAA game, right?
Except the 2016 one.
It was
The
a
ones
AAA.
prior-
He said except in 2016. What?
No, because that was
Well, Chris, why
That was
wasn't
the
it?
All right, cool. Nah, not a.
It was still a
It's
AAA
not an
game.
issue, yo.
Wait,
I mean,
hold
have
on.
you
No.
played?
Nah, it's cool. It could be a AAA game. It could be a
2016
AAA.
game was still AAA. It was just on the.
Have
it was
you
just on the
played-
budget.
Nah,
It
that shit was
considered
never a AAA. I dropped it. You can go look at my PSN right now.
Okay.
I played for 15 minutes and dropped it. That shit is garbage
Why
to
they
me.
didn't charge
What
you?
game?
All Insomniac. But see, I'm not an Insomniac fan. I ain't like none of their games. So I was like, I'm
All right,
like
calm down.
Spider-Man and
Yo,
Ratchet and Clank. Jack and Dexter was always better to me. I never liked none of their games. Like it's not.
Let's roll this down.
No, because I played them. Like, what do you mean? Why I got opinions?
Let's
Bro,
roll this
you
down.
over here, you're over here saying Rift Apart is a DLC and not a AAA game.
Nah, it just look like it. Like it just
Alright.
don't look no
Alright.
different. Like
All right.
No, it looks
all
all
right.
right.
nah,
All right.
I don't know.
Chat. All right, cool. So pretty much, all right.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm starting shit.
Ratchet
Go
and
ahead.
Clank's 2016 game was still AAA. The reason why they didn't charge you, $60 for it because it was more dedicated to the movie, and all the movie was.
To the movie.
Oh my god.
The movie was a reimagine of the first game, which already existed. So take it how you want. It was still a AAA game. It just wasn't $60.
Oh,
Yeah, like
damn.
Here's the thing. I beat Ratchet and Clank.
So
Like,
State of Decay was a
that game-
AAA game then. Hey, fuck.
What?
that I beat.
Hey, I mean,
Like,
since we
What
on
the
the,
hell are you?
That's not even on the same level. Okay, go ahead, Addict.
All right, it's time to
it's the
go.
same logic. Like,
No, let Addict finish.
let me. Like I beat Ratchet and Clank. Like that game can't be ran on the PS4, and I don't know. I don't think it's because of like anything specific. It's the SSD. Like I don't know if I'm pretty sure like any fast SSD would be able to do the same thing. But the thing is that the PS4 Pro don't have an SSD in it. Like at the end of that game, like during the last boss, like the crazy shit that's going on at the same time, the PS4 would have a heart attack and die. Like.
All right.
You laughing? Did you beat Ratchet and Clank?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. I don't see nothing spectacular. I mean, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I thought I was
15 minutes of the game. You've probably seen the opening cutscene. Like,
well, 15 minutes of the older game. He hasn't played.
Yeah,
the
he's
new
not
one.
talking about Rift Apart.
okay.
The new one will melt his fucking eyeballs. He wouldn't be able to handle it.
All right, man. But it's time to go.
That shit.
We've gone a little bit too long. It's approaching 10:30. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure you hit that like button. If you missed the show, you can catch it on demand. If you missed our live reactions to Xbox E3, make sure you check that out. I'll be on Xbox 2 with Rand and Jez on Friday. And we hopefully will have Neo GameSpark next week. So
I tweeted at him. I said, "Yo, come join."
Try to make that happen. So
Let's go.
So shouts out to Xbox for winning E3 yet again.
Shout out. Let's go.
And
Yeah.
man, we will see you guys next week.
I personally, I felt like I was the only one. Like, I felt like I was the only one that like last year. It's like I don't. Maybe it's because they announced games that appeal to me more. You know.
Yeah.
Obviously people know I like last year's. I threatened to kill Chris Righteous over it, but we're gonna go right past that. So I personally, maybe it's just because they announced games that I like because I like Fable.
They announced games, bro.
Here's the thing about last year's, right? Last year wasn't an issue about it. The problem was what made it a problem was because it was the Xbox Series X was launching in November, and it didn't give us an idea. It didn't tell us the story of what was going to take place that holiday season with the Series X. I feel like if the show that happened this year happened last year, and last year's show happened this year, I feel like it would have been like it would have made more sense. But
I just felt like last year they just announced more like not necessarily high quality, like more like hyped games, like Avowed from Obsidian, like finally announced Fable, like I get it. Like I felt like this year had a better pacing. They had better games overall. But like if you like put Fable this year and Avowed this year, like I feel like that's the only thing that probably like really won last year for me. It was like just Fable and Avowed because those are my two favorite games. Like some from Obsidian and Fable. I don't know what Playground game. I trust Playground, so I'm gonna stop clowning on them. I trust them. So We'll see how it is, but those you know how I am, Kiss Me. I've been asking for these. What's Obsidian making new in Fable? And I got them both in one show.
Yeah, and that's how it was like. That's how I felt was like when the Sony show when they showed off FF16 and Demon Souls and Horizon and all that shit in one show. I was like, oh shit. While some people didn't like it, I was like, nah, this shit catered directly to me. So I understand exactly where Addict is coming from. When you get a couple games that like directly caters to you, it heightens up the experience. Absolutely.
I just want to say one thing before I get out of here, man.
Does it have to?
I just looked at. Yeah, it do. And I looked at the top PS4 games, that sold, and Ratchet and Clank is way down there.
Nowhere to be found.
Yo, that shit all the way down in like 27.
That's because they
before
didn't.
Rift Apart. I don't care about. Don't give me excuses.
No. Like
Rift Apart. Yes.
Oh my God. I gotta go. Can we go, please, man? I don't want
Nick, just stop talking. You're gonna lose this conversation. You're gonna lose.
Hold
this
on,
conversation.
but PlayStation guys love sale numbers.
Yeah,
so,
Mike. Nick also.
Oh no.
Mike. Oh my God.
Well, this one's breaking records.
Yeah, well, it has no choice but to break records. I mean, this is the. I mean, a lot of people this time that bought Ratchet.
That's on breaking records.
A lot of Ratchet sales for this game was a lot of cap purchases, and not to say that it didn't earn these. These are people jumping into the game for like the first time because they didn't know what it was.
The first
until pretty much recently. So
it wasn't a AAA. That's why.
Nick, dude, the Sixers blew a 20-point lead and fucking lost. Bro.
Did they lose?
Yes. They blew the last 2 games. They blew tonight's game and they blew game
All right,
3.
that's it for the show, though. Xbox is the best box, and I am the best bot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. We
ended the
are
show?
out of here. Yeah, we are ending the show.
Peace, everyone.
now.
Peace.
I thought you ended the stream.